Welcome back to the penultimate day of the semi-finals for the South American region here at the PUBG Mobile Club Open. The fall split of 2019, we have 2 more days to go. We've got half of our team today playing their final games for the semi-finals. So we're getting towards the point where we're starting to put names on paper and play the teams in spots. That didn't really make as much sense as I wanted it to, but we're running out of chances of teams to get points is the bottom line.
We certainly are, and if you've missed any of that action that has unfolded over the last 4 days of semi-finals, I believe we've had now, this is the 5th.
Yep.
So if you've missed any of that action, you need to get onto the YouTube channel, the PUBGMOBILE eSports YouTube channel, and find that out. Find all that information you've been missing, because there's so many VODs there for you to watch and so much action to capture.
An awful lot of content. Of course, if you want to play the game, it is available. PUBG Mobile is completely free on both, well, on all major phone platforms. You can get it on the Google Play Store and the iOS App Store for no money at all. So free is the best price, in my opinion. If you want to jump in and play the game. Here is the format, our system for the overall region, I guess, or overall...
The split.
Split is the word I'm looking for. For each region, that's what I was trying to get to. We've already had the group stage. That was 24 games. We then eliminated the bottom 8 teams. We've into the semi-finals, which is where we are now, most of the way through. 24 games. I believe we're playing matches 17 through 20 today.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be right. We've got 4 more tomorrow. So Group E are playing their last 4 games for this for the semi-finals so far. This is the point system we have as well.
Yeah, we got 20 points for that chicken dinner. We got 14 points for a second place. Third place will net you 10. Drops off a bit from there. Fourth place still gets you 8, so that's not too bad. Each of the kills you get, that's a point in your bank, as well as you get a consolation prize for coming 11 to 16. Now, Tim, this is the exciting bit. This is the groups that are playing today.
Hit me with it.
You have that Group E, which is stacked. They're nutty. They're wild. They've got Influence Rage, Brazilian Killers, Bastardos, Team Queso, Ace 1 even starting to have a good results. SvG of having good results. So that's so many teams in that group alone that's going wild. And then you have, on the other side, 6-9, Nova, who are consistently 2 stronger teams as well. And then my one, though, to watch out for is I want to see if Team Solid can pick it up, because they left it a lot to do in that last day of group stages. And they only just snuck through. So I want to see Team Solid not leave it to the last second of the group stages and try and get some action in now so they can get themselves some points.
I mean, luckily enough, this is their second... The first games of their second phase of games in the semi-finals. So they've still got 8 games yet to be played. They play both today and tomorrow. So there is quite a bit of time for that. Well, not quite a bit of time, but there's a decent chunk of time for them left to start picking up some results and moving up the leaderboard, which they do need to do, as they currently sit in 22nd place out of 24. So there's a bit of ground yet to be covered for them.
8 games, you can do a lot in 8 games, though.
You can.
You can do a lot, the bulk of the heavy lifting in 8 games if you are having a good back end of the tournament, and they have had a good back end of the group stage, and if they have a great back end of the semi-finals, they might find themselves in those top 16 teams. Yeah,
I mean, that's of course the ideal. Looking at Group E, they are the team who will be, not leaving us today, but they'll be finishing their semi-final run today and giving it their best effort to wind up inside that top 16 and not getting eliminated in the bottom 8. So I think are the teams who are at any real risk at the moment. I think Killer's team are probably the only one of Group E who are down there. They're at 14th, so they'll want to grab themselves some points to shore their position up a little bit higher. Other than that, we've got teams at 11th and 12th. I think it's Ace 1 and Real, respectively.
If they have stinkers, then they might be in trouble, Real and Ace.
But the rest of Group E are all in the top 10, so they should be fine.
Killer's team is the one that you got to watch out for, though. They need to get some points today. They need to get maybe a few high finishes, maybe a few high kill games. That's what they're going to be looking for. If they don't, then they can find themselves on the cusp of elimination.
Which is not at all what you want. So that's the thing. Like it's really Group E is the story of the day, as they are the ones who are finishing up their campaigns in the semi-finals, and it is Killer's team who want some more points. Ace 1 and Real might want to move a little bit higher as well, but we'll talk about that when we get our first look at the scoreboard. For now, we are jumping into our first map. It is Erangel, of course, to start and finish. In the middle, we'll have Sanhok and Vikendi. It's Vikendi today rather than Miramar, so those are our 4 maps. We're about to get stuck into our first Erangel of the day, and our first chance for Group E, who are bowing out of the semi-finals after this. They'll have finished all 16 of their games they're going to play. This is the first map of their last 4 to get some points on the board.
Certainly is the last opportunity for these teams to get the points on the board for that Group E stack. Their plane is not very friendly if it's an Eastern Circle. If it's a Western Circle, which we've seen a majority of, it's been pretty friendly, but teams are already starting to file out. Real obviously jumping out pretty early. 6-9, they will join them on that military island, you'd imagine. Team Solid looks like they're going there as well. Team Queso look like they're going to hit up the Primorsk drop. They did do that yesterday versus PVZ a bit, or PDZ, sorry, and PDZ ended up winning that engagement, which is funny enough because they hadn't won a lot of engagements in our full split.
They are currently on the bottom of the leaderboard with 36 points. It's also worth noting as well, speaking of 6ix9ine, they are the only team in the top 8 who have only played 8 games. Everyone else has played 12, so they're doing pretty well for themselves. Nova are up there as well, sitting in 9th currently with the 8 games played. So those two have done themselves very well to still be in the top 10 with 4 less games played. Looks like everyone's getting to their looting as normal. Now, we actually have 4 teams. As I say that, we've got 4 teams on the military island. Yeah, that is unusual for us. We normally only have 2.
That is a strange amount of teams to have in the one area, but it looks like they're spread out at the moment pretty decently. There is a lot of loot where 6ix9ine is. It's Western Circles. That's very friendly for the sides, well, for the whole plane ride, really, as the eastern side of the map was pretty much gone from that plane ride, as 6ix9ine are going to be looting. They only have 3 players on board at the moment, so they only got 3 into the lobby, missing 1. They are using their sub still today, so things aren't going too crash hot for them at the moment, but they are pretty safe on the points, as you said, so they'll be looking to get themselves a decent run, and they'll be fine. Killer's team, unfortunately for them, WarMaster has collected one of them with a car, so they're already off to a pretty shocking start, and it looks like he is going to be finished straight away as well, so already breaking first blood. This is on the northern side of that Roshok River.
Man, his team were a long way from him. What was he doing to separate it, I wonder?
I might have not read that WarMaster were going to drop here as well, and they tried to spread out, get as much loot efficiency as possible. As that lands on its side, now it's back, and it's going to flip, and it's going to stay on its back.
Whoa! We've seen that a couple times with buggies so far recently. All right. Never landed it perfectly on the wheels. No, not even a problem.
That's fine. As Real, another team that needs to have a decent enough day, has had a knock in Novo. We've seen them go Novo pretty much every opportunity they can get. They really favor those crate drops. Unfortunately for them, it doesn't always work out, as they usually end up versus SvG here. This has been the scene of a lot of murder and mayhem early on in the game, as both of these teams have not relented. They have kept dropping here and kept fighting each other.
Now, we do still have 4 teams down that island. Team Solid, I just had a look at the map, were just driving off the bridge. So did they go over and then come back?
They drove there. Yeah, they did start on the northern side of that island and then moved across. So we had 5 teams. So we did have 5. Team Solid identified quickly that something's got to give and they had to move. And knowing that the eastern side of the map wasn't actually accessible by the plane very easily, they would have some confidence knowing that there was a lot of room for activity around there. So they have decided to drop over there and find themselves some loot.
Guardians Imperium have just headed over into Milta Power, so
yeah, that's it.
No loot available for Team Solid if they do choose to go that way.
Looks like they're just going to hang out.
SvG are actually looking to press this engagement against Real.
Why wouldn't you at this point? SvG sitting okay on the points. They'd be confident enough that they would move around. So they're not in the worst position, not in the best. They started off the semifinals pretty strong, actually. They've tapered off a little bit. But Real is one of those teams that does have that little bit of pressure on them. So if SvG can start knocking heads around, then all the pressure is going to be on Real. Yeah, if I was SvG, I would be very aggressive in this situation. Just trying to put the pressure on this team, make the mistakes come out. And we've seen them fight over this area for pretty much every Erangel map. They both just choose to drop here and duke it out. As we do get a live look at our standings, that is the top 10. As you can see, Influence Rage are ahead. Not by much, though. And I believe they're going to be playing their last games today.
Yes, they are.
XG in second place, only 2 points behind.
They still have. Will be playing tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll finish up their games tomorrow. 9K will be also featuring tomorrow. Red Canids as well.
So of our Group E, who are playing their last games today, Influence Rage, 9K, Brazilian Killers, Team Queso, SvG, and wait. Hold on, I think I added one in there, did I?
Yeah, I don't think 9K's in today, are they? No, they're...
No, I'm out of team. 9K are not in this group, but there's 5 of the 8 of Group E in the top 10.
Yeah, there is.
SvG, Bastardos, Queso, Brazilian Killers, and Influence Rage. There you go. That's what I was looking for.
That's it. Brazilian Killers are one of the teams that we've been harping on about a lot on the broadcast. They've got a unique little play style they've got going for them. They don't seem to be too worried about dropping out anytime soon, so they have been going incredibly aggressive on some maps, and some maps have just been throwing caution to the wind and getting stuck right in to some of these lesser teams, compound crashing without any fear at all. It's been really entertaining to see, and I implore them for getting into these gunfights and trying to, you know, hone their skills as much as possible before that regional finals. Maybe in the regional finals we'll see them play a little bit slower, but for now they've been really just going hard in the paint, as they do have their full complement of players today. There is no sub for them, so they were playing with a sub in their previous days of games, and unfortunately for them, he kept finding the dirt pretty quick, but he did his job though. They still had some decent finishes, some decent kill games.
Also worth noting, you can see the respect that Brazilian killers have. If you look at the military island, for instance, we had initially 4 teams there all looting within a couple hundred meters of each other. That's pretty common all over the map at the big loot locations. Brazilian killers get the entirety of Pachinki to themselves.
Yeah.
In lobbies that they're not in, you can see 2 teams sometimes drop in opposite ends of Pachinki and both try and loot the same town, but when Brazilian killers are in, nobody touches Pachinki.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that is Brazilian killers were the winners of our last split, and they went over to the global finals. They didn't have the best result over at the global finals. It was actually Team Queso that had the best results out of the South American teams. I believe they got a top 5 finish in the whole entire tournament. So they haven't demanded the same respect as the Brazilian killers so far. Although they've had some decent results, apparently they're a very nice team as well, I hear. Team Queso, very polite young gentlemen. So,
Oh, that's what you want.
and no surprise, apparently Brazilian killers are party boys. Which is absolutely no surprise with their reckless gameplay and their...
Yeah, look.
They look like they're a good time.
If we're drawing random, like, connections between the way they play and who they are, then yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
no, they would definitely be the party team.
Having a look at one of our Influence Rage players here, NTX, who I believe is actually still on our kill leaderboard. From memory, he's in 5th place.
Well,
264 damage, average damage per game.
That's not crazy.
It's not, but, I mean, he is up there in last place on our kill leaderboard on... I can't remember. I think the bottom 3 players are all tied on 20.
Sounds about right.
It's like 3 on 20, 22 for the 2nd place, and then Mixero's on like 29 or something.
Yeah, Mixero is a bit of a beast unit. He had a phenomenal day yesterday, hitting 3 games with 5 kills each. Yeah, Ace are alright.
Okay, they're all good.
They're alright.
That was a bit scary.
These are the Rush to Die boys, really lighting up Ace and making sure they know they're home. A few tags going in, but nothing really too insane at this current point in time, as we see the Ace guys flee off into the distance. They're filing in 1 by 1, so they're all making sure they all get sprayed down. It's not just a one-man band. This is just on the northern side of those chopsticks. Ace are finding themselves in this position quite regularly, actually. As if this circle does pop, this is generally their rotation, as they go to those chopsticks or just north of them and try and play it out from there. There is a nice little ridge line, but we already see EVO around in the area. So Ace's plan hasn't exactly gone to play, as one of the Real players has been knocked out in the blue. He's still in around about that Novo area. He has teammates around, so should be able to get revived, but it's not something you want to be wearing too early. Is a knock in any sense of the word.
Particularly not one in the zone. And Ace have got themselves stuck into a fight with EVO here, which I wasn't sure they'd do. It looked like they did want to bail, but they've got 1 player sitting inside this...
That's not how you throw that.
Real good. They've got 1 player sitting inside the compound and another 3 outside, so...
The 3 are rotating, though. I believe they're actually going to go help their homie.
I hope so.
It looks like they are just holding that 3-1 split still, but they've moved 2 over to help their...
got confirmed by the zone.
Yeah, it looks like he maybe DC'd or something, because his friends didn't bother picking him up. So, unfortunate stuff for Real early on, but we do have a 3v4.
Speaking of Real, they could be about to run into Nova as well. It looks like Nova are around this road, so...
Not a team you want to run into.
That might be a bit of a difficult rotate for them, and they are outside the circles. It has popped to the southwest. Either way, having a look at this Ace and EVO fight again, we'll keep an eye on the kill feed for that Real rotation. EVO do have themselves some decent cover with the house and the smokes, but Ace are starting to pick up the damage, and there you go, Nova picking off Real. That's both players down. There's only 1 left, and I think at this point he's going to have to go to the coast and go for a
EVO player has
swim.
actually knocked himself with a nade as well, Tim. So
that's the 2nd flub nade we've seen from EVO.
Yeah, EVO aren't going too hot on... Well, he actually finished himself off, so he must have got knocked when he had a nade in his hand, which is incredibly unfortunate.
No, yeah,
and
that's not even his fault.
Ace know now that player is 100% confirmed, although they don't... They do wear the kill point for it as well, because they got the knock in. We are going to have to see Ace compound crash here, and if they can get themselves 4 points early on, that is great stuff for them, as they are one of those teams that are safe, but if they have a rubbish day, then they could be on the cusp of elimination, as one of the players from Ace does get a little bit aggressive with that angle and goes down pretty quickly.
Speaking of aggro, one of the EVO players just sprints outside and bails, and Ace
he's
has
getting
not
tagged down
spotted
very
him.
low.
I mean, they must have spotted him because he took a lot of bullets, but he's got away for now. But even in the meantime, it's EVO actually getting the better of Ace. They will knock them out.
Yeah, Ace really trying to file into those doorways, and despite how low those EVO players are, they do end up winning that engagement. So Ace, not the day that they really want to start with, as Influence Rage is getting in the mix as well. They've heard the gunfight go down. They see the knocks and making sure there is no free rotations here.
So Real, actually, speaking of them, they did get shot at by Nova, and they lost. They had 2 players knocked. By the looks of things, they've been able to recover 1, because they appear to have 2 players still alive right now. They've had to wait on the island for Nova to go away, essentially. Just waiting for the boys to leave town, but I think there is still 2 of them there.
Not a bad strategy.
Yeah,
Just waiting it out until everyone's gone home. As EVO know that Influence Rage are still in the area under pressure. Team Solo safe now, getting into some arguments with another squad.
It's Killer's team, and they're the last team who really needs to be copping shots this early on.
Like
They do want to move themselves up the scoreboard a bit over the course of their 4 games today. This is the last chance they have, and they're a little bit close. They're within 3 places of getting eliminated, so if anyone in the bottom 8 has a really good day and they haven't been able to get too many points, then they might find themselves shifting down. So they will be looking for some more points for the day, and getting shot at early on is not the way to get them, but of course, they've still got a few players up, and we've still got a few maps to play as well, as Influence Rage here, once again, trying to sneak up and get the better of EVO. They do have a bit of smoke cover to work with, the EVO boys, but they're also short of player, and that smoke dissipates at what could have been a very awkward time, but they'll get into a buggy, and it looks like they do just want to bug out of here. Yeah,
not a bad call. They're setting themselves up on the eastern or the western side. As the circle has popped, it's going around Ferry Pier. There are a lot of teams have got to move in there. The northern side of Ferry Pier looks like it will be the hot spot to go. There is that large farm compound still in the mix as well. Not much else in there. That last Real player, or the last few Real players, have managed to beach crash themselves with a boat, so that's good news for them. We still have 15 teams. Ace is the only team to get themselves knocked out, as they did overextend into that fight with Real, and running into doorways versus AK sprays often ends in a face full of bullets and a day full of dread. As that's one of the Influence Rage players. He's been sitting in that area for quite a while, so I imagine he is not in the game himself, as he is around the school area and hasn't moved for quite some time.
Potential DC on that one, which is unfortunate.
This is a player to watch though. War from Bastardos. He's had a pretty decent tournament so far. He's appeared on the top 5 killers for quite a few times.
I love his teammate just pulling over beside him like, you good, bud?
You good, buddy?
That's not how you drive a car, you're right. Got multiple teams taking engagements in this compound on your screens currently. SvG and 6ix9ine in the buildings. I believe it was...
This is that...
Solo safe on the hills above them.
I believe this is that farmhouse that's quite... Oh, it's not quite actually the farmhouse that's quite popular. Oh no, someone's running into Brazilian killers. That's not good for you, Team Solid member. Center B claims the knock already. So you don't want to be running into these guys too often.
Team Solid, by the way, are in 22nd. They do still have 7 more games to play after this one, so got a bit of time. But look, starting off your campaign for the second half of the semifinals with running into Brazilian killers is not what you want.
Brazilian killers, by the way, they rotated out of Pachinki. They ran around north up by Gatka and have come in on the eastern side of the circle. So that's an odd rotation from them, but they've decided that's the best way to play the game. And to be fair, there is pretty easy ways in here. They will be coming into the back with the blue at the back, so they're going to get into a lot of fights eventually. As the circle does move in, 6ix9ine have found themselves in a pretty decent position. I mean, only the 3 players, as we did mention before.
Coming in with the circle into a bunch of gunfights is like Brazilian killers' MO. It's just the way to go.
It isn't a bad strategy for them to net a lot of points.
They can
doesn't get you the placement points that you do require, as this is the farmhouse here. And it's quite a nice little area to be at. That is pretty central as well, as the Rush to Die guys have found themselves owning that.
And there's a lot of cover around here as well. There's multiple buildings, a couple different floors, a lot of windows. So it's a pretty good compound to have if you are in the center of the circle, which They're pretty close too. They're not far off it. It's probably the most central compound that we have currently. Bastardos occupy the other one.
We're about to see the shift come in, and I'm predicting it won't stay around that beach ferry. Oh, well, there you go. It's bang smack on ferry pier and the beach, as I'm wrong, and it is the northern side of that in play. That's the third shift in a row that has gone south. It has cut the water out. Rush to Die will need to move. Nova is in the perfect position as they are playing that hill line, the forest line there, as Brazilian Killers are getting lit up, but Team Solid unable to make a connection with anybody. Paralyze is often knocked in these rotates, so...
I mean, the thing that's good for Brazilian Killers is that they always go for 4-car rotates where they can. Yeah. So that if they do have a car that comes under a lot of fire, they're only going to lose 1 player and not 2 or 3.
And because of the sheer respect everyone shows them in Pachinki, they usually get those 3 or 4 vehicles pretty safely, as they're looking to crash the circle now.
And the other thing is with Brazilian Killers is that we've seen a lot of teams who've learned the hard way not to put too many bullets in them as they rotate, because Brazilian Killers tend to just stop and jump out of their cars and return fire. And we've had a few teams learn that to their detriment, so they don't actually cop as much fire as they could when they're on the rotate. However, SvG will be copping a lot of bullets from 6-9, still inside the buildings here. No damage will really come out of it, but...
Ooh, Bastardos is starting to get into the fights too, as we see more action kickoff. Axial picked up a crate earlier. It doesn't look like he's using that crate weapon at the moment, as one of the Guardians Imperium guys has fallen to the wayside. We're going to start to see the action kickoff now, as we see a lot of the big squads in action. Influence Rage is starting to get hurt as well. So
goodness me, that's a lot of gunfights.
There's a lot of gunfights going across the map as well. You can see this is the main one kicking off. This is Influence Rage, your current leaders, getting pressured. 2 of their players have already been confirmed. This is the last player, NTX, and he is going to go down, and that will be Influence Rage dropping out. The farmhouse will remain in the control of Bastardos. This is a very nice compound to have. It is just on the edge of the circle, so they will have to move. As we see another gunfight breakout. 6-9, defending their compound, 3-man strong. Team Solid, they did get a player knocked out by Brazilian Killers earlier, and they do have a player on the deck knocked. So running from Brazilian Killers into 6-9 is not very fortunate at all, as they are 2 of our higher placed teams, as Paralyze is kind of poking around the edge of the circle.
That's very much frying pan into the fire sort of deal.
Yeah,
well, actually, I'd say fire into the frying pan probably. Yeah, but either way, it's not ideal for you, especially if you're one of those teams who does need a lot of points here. That Molly's going to force Kevin back, but won't do too much else to him.
Not too bad. Not too good, not too bad. But we have lost EVO as well in the meantime. So lots of teams starting to bow out or get wounded now, as that 6-9 Team Solid fight is on the edge of the circle, as you can see in the minimap. So you'd imagine they'd want to wrap that up pretty quickly so they can get into the next one pretty easily. As one of the other Team Solid players, it looked like he was camping out in a split, has been caught by a Killer's team, so they desperately needed that. The last Team Solid player will drop.
6-9's a bust on him.
That's the captain of 6-9 putting in some work early days.
That will be Team Solid ducking out in 13th. Again, they do have 7 more games to play after this one, but they still want to get some placings happening pretty soon. Team Queso here, one of our stronger teams, huddled right on the edge of the zone behind a rock, but with multiple vehicles.
That is, right on the edge of the circle, right on the beach as well. So it is quite difficult to move from rock to rock to place. And as we see Swagman taking shots with that DMR, the SLR, it's 7.62 weapon that puts out a bit of hurt. So you won't want to be getting caught on the wrong end of that stick anytime soon. They've been rather quiet, Brazilian Killers. They haven't really found many squads in their rotations. I think that's more of a fortunate thing than anything else. So as you can see, they are on the edge of the circle now. They start to get stuck in. As this team here is pinned down. This is solo safe. That crate was looted before, so it's not going to have anything in it. 6-9 coming into the Rush to Die guys, and they're not taking any prisoners really, as they've shredded through them really. That actually might have eliminated them.
Team Queso here putting some shots into Brazilian Killers. There's also SvG over that way as well. The circle has shifted to the northwest, so all of these teams here are going to need to get a bit of a move on. And now it's just a big multiple-way gunfight, and it does indeed appear that Team Solo Safe are copping the worst of it. And got multiple teams firing on them up on top of that hill. Rush to Die in the meantime go out in 12th as well.
Rush to Die go out, but that is not where you want to be if you are Team Solo Safe, as you have Team Queso and Brazilian Killers, the top 2 teams from last split, firing in upon you on different angles. Their position in the circle is actually good, Team Solo Safe, and that's why Teams are quite eager to get stuck into them, as we see Paralyze actually dropping out from the Brazilian Killers, getting knocked. Center B also joins him, as there were 2 players behind them putting a lot of hurt in, but they're not going to be able to capitalize on it, and you'd imagine that Brazilian Killers would be able to get those revives going out. More 6-9 action in the kill feed, by the way. They are cleaning house with the only 3-man squad.
I think Killers team just went out, by the way.
Yeah, I think they've got 1 player alive in the northern side of the circle.
Oh, do they? Okay, cool. We did just lose another team, but I didn't see who it was. Either way, I mean, these engagements still going to be pretty awkward. Brazilian Killers will be able to get the reses happening, and they are starting to get some more damage out onto Team Queso as well. But things are going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. WarMaster also getting stuck into TQ.
Is that Team Queso gone? Or it could be very low, as they did get a vehicle explosion.
No, that was Killer's team who just went out.
That was Killer's team, but Team Queso might be on the way out, as I believe they only have 1 player alive. They do, as we bring up the alive board, and that might be them done. It is, as Brazilian Killers found an angle on them as they pushed in. Team Queso tried to take the area where WarMaster and Team Solo Safe resided, but they ended up getting stuck behind cars because of the Brazilian Killers flank. Cars blow up, players go down.
It's not ideal. Brazilian Killers, Nova, and WarMaster all at full strength. Bastardos and 6-9, well, as well as Team Solo Safe with 3. Team Solo Safe with 3 is quite surprising given how much fire they were under, but they seem to have recovered that reasonably well. Circle just about to move.
Might have been Guardians Imperium going out to the blue as well.
On to 6-9, everyone else has to move.
6-9 started the game with 3 players, and as we see Team Real drop out as well in 7th place. And now we are left with a lot of healthy teams, actually, when you think about it. Bastardos and Team Solo Safe with 3, same with 6-9. They started with 3 though, so haven't actually lost a member. As WarMaster got a quiet tournament. They've been quiet achievers, you'd say. And they've been continuing to find themselves in top positions, late game positions, as Nova's getting sprayed down quite heavily. This is a nice little angle that they've found themselves on, the WarMasters. If you can push around the backside of the blue, which he is going for. I mean, 2 car explosions here might be what the doctor ordered for WarMaster, but not for Nova.
Brazilian Killers continuing to put damage in, as well as Mitek, who's getting involved so far this game. Worth noting as well that talking about quiet achievers, WarMaster do currently have 3 kills, and they're in the top 6, so things are going pretty well for them. But if you have a look at the map, you can see it up in the minimap in the top right. All of these teams that are fighting, this entire skirmish right now, is outside the circle.
It certainly is, and it looks like WarMaster are going to have to pay attention to the Brazilian Killers. They might be sending this one player in wild, but they are paying attention to the Brazilian Killers as Center B gets his head ripped off by that AK.
WarMaster are just yeeting a player into the circle by the looks of things.
Not a bad call. 6-9 do have the watch on that, though.
They do indeed. And yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty easy 6-9 win at this point, as everyone else is busy shredding each other outside the circle.
Certainly is. There will be a victor of this fight. It's just a matter if they do take too many casualties. Nova have managed to snake their way out of that little man-made compound they have. Brazilian Killers keep wearing knocks. Center B down for what seems like the 3rd time, but that's fine. He's a bit of a worm. He gets up, gets down, gets up, gets down.
We saw him get rezzed a couple of days ago, like 5 or 6 times in a map, something like that. So Nova man just stays alive.
Have lost 2, so Brazilian Killers now are the only team with the full complement of players. The Stardust are down to 1. Brazilian Killers keep laying the hurt onto WarMasters, who are down to their last player now. Yeah. Paralyzed low on meds though, so he's going to have to find some bodies to loot, you'd imagine. As Brazilian Killers find themselves 8 kills, Tim. 8 kills already.
8 kills, yeah, they're definitely coming out the better of this bigger skirmish that's been happening outside the circle. Still got our last few teams trying to get inside that circle. They're on their way. You can see Bastardos, they're their last player, right on the edge of that zone, is about to cop some circle damage, which you don't really want for them. Brazilian Killers too being pushed up with their backs against the blue.
The flank here from the 6-9 captain on the left-hand side. He actually does knock out Center B, and you'd imagine that Center B's been knocked out so many times, he won't be able to get picked up. So that's only 1 player alive for the Brazilian Killers. WarMaster have 1 as well. So 6-9 have really dominated this map.
6-9 have been, I'm not going to say gifted it, because they have earned it, but it definitely helps that the majority of their opponents got into a massive skirmish outside the circle. It's worth noting, if we go back 5 minutes, we've got 3 4-man squads alive, multiple with 3 men, and then they all get into a massive team fight outside the circle. 6ix9ine have been sitting pretty in this compound. They've still got the majority of their forces in there, inside the circle. They've got their captain, Kachora, out on the flank as well.
And that flank is so important, as if Brazilian Killers were able to rotate through that direction, they might have been able to get close enough to this compound to lay some real hurt on, as the nade comes in from downtown, and that will knock that boy out. Swagwin with the slam dunk will leave himself in a 1v3 situation. Does have a little bit of meds to work with, but you'd imagine it's all over but the crying. He will have to move in with the zone as well, as it is centered on the 6ix9ine guys in the compound once more. So
they're really living the dream.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, I mean, Swagman's going to have to move here, as he will start copying zone damage now. They've got a lot of lines on him. Yeah, he might just end up taking the deaths to the zone here. Looks like that will indeed be the way, so a bit anticlimactic, but it'll be 6ix9ine who will grab themselves...
Chicky D. He did have a few first aid kits, so he might just hold on for a little bit longer. I mean, this is his last one now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the value of this is. There's no way the zone's going to get to them before it gets to him, but I guess it's just being annoying, yeah.
You'll see him drop now as...
He's going to try and bandage through it.
No, you can't bandage that.
You can't bandage through this zone. It just does too much damage. He will be bowing out here, and that will be 6ix9ine grabbing themselves the first win of the day.
Crazy to think that they started the game with 3 players and they end the game with 3 players.
That's very impressive.
11 kill chicken dinner. So that's actually a decent chicken dinner too. So it's not even a small one. So 6ix9ine, without the help of their 4th member, have won a game as a 3-man squad. Yes, the circle did give them a bit, but, well, a lot.
I mean, they still earned their kills. So that's the thing.
Certainly did, yeah.
They would not... I don't think they would have won that, given that they were a 3-man to start with. If we had wound up with our initial strength of what must have been nearly 20 players, if more of those teams, when we had the 3 4-mans, couple of 3-man squads, if more of those teams had made it into the circle to start with, I don't think 6ix9ine would have won that. It's just down to player numbers. They probably would have been ripped out of that compound.
6ix9ine managed to defend their own compound.
Yeah, 6ix9ine did hold on to their compound. That's true. And
this is it now.
It does work out that, you know, the majority of the lobby winds up fighting each other outside of the circle, which did help out 6ix9ine quite a bit, and of course they still got 11 kills, so they were able to win the fights they needed to. They held onto their compound and they got themselves a chicken dinner. So 11-point chicken dinner, or 11-kill chicken dinner I should say, 31 points in total for 3 players. You're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, they're going to make their run towards that first place, it looks like, as Influence Rage didn't have a hot game, and 6ix9ine have a lot of games to play still. Maybe they've still got 7 after this, or maybe they have a little bit less than that. But they were one of the teams that will be playing tomorrow as well. So yeah,
no, I think they're on their 9th game now. So yes, that will be. That's right. They're one of the 2 teams in the top 10 who has only played 8 games.
Yeah, so
yeah, you're right. They've still got a fair way to go.
Nova finished pretty high up as well, which is one of those other teams that were in the tie of the top 10 without playing the full complement of games. So great job there from 6ix9ine without Pedro or without even their 4th player. So who needs 4 or who needs Pedro? We can just get chicken dinners as 3.
That would be funny. Like, comes to the last game of the day. If they're safe, they just drop in Pedro.
Yeah, they just
nobody else. Yeah. Like, he hasn't been playing most of the semifinals. They just do a 1-man squad of Pedro dropping in. Probably not the greatest idea, but look, they'll be happy with that. We're not sure what the go is with Pedro. We haven't seen him yet in the semifinals.
Sad.
So, I mean, maybe he'll drop in and their subs now playing for somebody else. We're of course not sure, as they only have 3 that game. We'll see, I suppose. But I mean, you can't really make too much of an argument against it, as they did get themselves the win with just the 3 players. Anyways, we have a look at the points from that game. It's 6ix9ine up on top, 11 kills, 31 points for the chicken dinner. Brazilian Killers, despite being in a pretty much unwinnable situation when it came down to it, they still get 9 kills in the 2nd place, so a decent allotment of points on them. Bastardos, WarMaster, Nova, all up there as well.
Yeah, Team Solo safe, getting themselves some much needed points. Real managed to net themselves 6, which will go a long way to keeping them safe. Team Queso, they got flanked by multiple positions as they pushed up into the circle. Unfortunate for them, just caught unawares. Killers team, though, they get 4 points. They're going to need a little bit more than that to secure their safety, though. The big ones are Ace. They can't afford to have bad days like this, otherwise they will be finding themselves close to elimination. Influence Rage, quiet, but it doesn't really matter for them at the moment. You think they have more than enough points to secure their safety.
Yeah, obviously we'll have to keep an eye on where all of our teams end up, as we do have a look at the overall standings at the end of each of these games. But the real teams we're looking out for are the Group E teams, as they're the ones who are finishing up their campaigns today. And the teams who are in danger from them, at the start of the day, it was Ace1 in 11th, Real in 12th, Killers team in 14th. We'll have to see if that has changed. The top 3 remain untouched.
Oh, 6ix9ine and Brazilian Killers equal even Stevens, despite 6ix9ine having 3 chicken dinners. So 3 chicken dinners out of their 9 games. That's not a bad conversion rate. It's a 33% conversion rate on the chicken deed.
I mean, the thing that impresses me about Brazilian Killers is still how even their kills and placement points are. I mean,
Yeah.
that does tell you that they do have some games where they completely slay out and then go out early, but the fact that they're still pretty much 1-1, I mean, they finished up their group stage at 101 kills and 99 placement points, something like that.
Yeah.
So, or no, 98, that's right, because they got to 199. So, I mean, they've still been very even the whole time. Other than that, I mean, not too much to speak of here. This is the interesting one. Ace1 and Real have not moved. Killer's team
moved up a little bit, but not enough, you'd say, as they are progressing slowly. 86 points they found themselves on in 14th place, so still need to get a bit of a wriggle on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They are only, 3 places above falling into this bottom 8, so they're going to want to put a bit of a buffer into themselves. But the good thing is, having a look at the teams above them, the team in 9th currently is 119. So if they have themselves like a 30-point day, I mean, that's Nova, who are also playing today. Yeah. All the teams above them are playing today, which makes things a little bit more difficult. But if they can put themselves up 20 or 30 points for the day, that should put them up into safety, you'd think.
Well, but you got to hope that teams like Ace and Real keep having bad games, as we see the bottom of the board at the moment. These will be the teams that are going home if all stays the same, as a lot of the teams down here are playing today as well. We've got Team Solid, EVO, Guardians, Imperium, Solo Safe, WarMaster, all playing today as well.
The thing with those teams is that they are 4 games behind the other teams who are down here. Like, I'm not too concerned for any of those guys because they've still got 3 more games to play. The teams that really worry me are Crazy, Disturbed, and PDZ, who are all the way down here. PDZ in particular, despite having 12 games played.
Yeah, I mean, PDZ we shouldn't really harp on about it too much because there isn't much to do. These are the kill leaders. Law and Becca find themselves on the board. Center B, Swagwin. Well, you know, the Brazilian killer is always going to have a decent amount of players up here, but Mick Zero is the one that we should all be talking about. As he's got 29 kills. Yeah, he's not playing today. He's still got 4 games to go, so can he crack 35, 40? 40 would be nice, wouldn't it?
40 would be huge. Another 11 kills. I mean, he's been averaging, I think we talked about his stats yesterday, it was like 2.5 kills per game, something like that, or 2.4. So if he can keep that up, then yeah, it's certainly doable. But I mean, we'll talk more about him when we get to his games, of course. It's the rest of the kill leaders that we're really interested in. It's 2 players from Brazilian Killers, 2 players from Bastados. That's, I mean, those are the guys who've been having the really big performances. But either way, that's Erangel in the books. Map 1 of 4 for the day, done and dusted. 3 games to go for these Group E guys to finalize their placings. We'll be right back to see how they do after a short break. Circle shift hard southwest.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, Team Queso are
the last Batman player, actually. So at least he's getting some points for his fellas.
I mean, he's sitting in the zone at this point. He could just... I mean, Marco is stuck.
Yeah,
there's no one being knocked, so... Another awkward 3-party fight. Crazy. They just knocked out his rage. Yeah. They did. The trade, though, will come through, and all of a sudden, just 1 player left for Ace now. It's Trace, who's already been knocked twice, who's left to try and do it all. It's 9k against multiple, or I should say Trace against multiple of 9k.
Maybe 2, the Red Cannons and Bastados. Oh, big spray comes down though, and now it is certainly ending for the way of the Red Cannons as they've knocked 2 players down. It's just the 1 Bastados on half health in the ditch, in the gully.
They're going to push in him
spray
as well.
Comes down, he's getting so low, so that's them down. It will be 1 player from Team Queso remaining.
Push to come in there. Red Cannons will be able to grab that kill at least. And now they're looking to potentially try and clean up SvG, actually, as that's, I think, what they've done.
Well, his player is reloading. If the Red Cannon's got the 3rd kill, he actually just finished 3 of SvG. They filed in 1v1. So
That'd be so much fun.
what we haven't seen though is 404 getting involved in early fights. The first 2 games we saw them very involved in early engagements.
Yeah, I mean,
this game, very quiet.
I guess the trade-off they're making is, sure, they would go...
Vehicles.
Oh,
he gets him out
Put
again.
him down,
Gets
son.
the second, goes to the run over, but no, it's just straight onto the hay bales, fly straight on forward. Goes down.
Yeah, and murdered is not the way you want to go down. Old age, maybe as they...
You don't want to go down.
Old age, maybe as they...
You don't want to go down
Don't
by
like
a
that
vehicle flip
neither.
either.
That is a big
Goodness
one.
me, that is...
And this man has
PDZ
8
knocked
kills
out
now, I
and
believe.
gone, yeah. Really out here, I don't think he's going to have the angle. Indeed, he has been spotted. He's going to stand up there for the kill, but he can't.
For long-range kills, if you can, in the early on games. We're here trying to get over that hill. Will he make it? He only got 1 wheel.
Elementrix try and push in, but they're coming up against Orange Rock, they're coming up against Hydra as well.
He's just waiting.
Aman has already gone down for entities. They've lost 1 of their 3 Snowbow Snakes.
A few moments later.
Yeah.
Where they have 1 guy who is just waiting in. This might be go time. I don't know if they spotted it out. There's 2 of them right there.
Oh my god, Neo.
Oh come on,
This
he's
guy
gonna
is
go
a
in.
really strong fragger as well.
No way. He's
Shoot him!
Neo.
He's not part of your team!
Linky!
Kiki!
Come on! He's right there!
You know he's there!
No.
Oh my god!
What is going on?
Oh,
my
he's
god!
part of the team, mate!
He hasn't chucked it!
Kiki,
it's
Kiki,
the third
please!
person.
Oh, he's put it out! Oh, he's gone! Ah!
What is happening?
Neo! Neo, please!
He's right there! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome back to the semi-finals here for the South American region. We're in day 5 of 6, so we're well into what we would call crunch time, Ben. We do have 8 of our 16 teams playing today. There you go. Half of our teams doing their last 4 games. There you go. That's where I got the 4 from. So we've got our Group E guys. We've got E versus E versus G today.
E versus G, then F
Let me just remember
G.
how the game works. E versus G today, and the Group E guys are on their last 4 games. So coming to the end of their semi-final run, if you've missed the rest of the semi-finals, well, luckily for you, it's all on YouTube. Check out the PUBGMOBILE eSports YouTube channel, and everything is there. And if you do want to play the game, it's available completely free on the Google Play Store and the iOS App Store, so you can check it out, get involved there. Either way, we now look forward to Sanhok, as we have been doing throughout the semi-finals. We've been playing 3 of the 4 same maps every day.
3 of the 4 same maps. Got a Sanhok chucked in there just for good fun. We are only changing up Vikendi and Miramar. Unfortunately for today, we have Vikendi. Miramar's my favourite.
I think we both like Miramar, but Vikendi's a good bit of fun. I mean, it's a newer map to the game. It's one that it plays out a little bit differently to all the others. I think it just helps that it's a very different environment as well. It's all snowy and strange.
Snowmobiles and sniper rifles and G36s. That's really the name of the game of Vikendi. Yesterday we had a heal off in America. That was one that you should go back and watch, actually. The North America Vikendi from yesterday. Absolute cracker. 3-man heal off. 3 squads.
I believe I actually saw that one posted on Twitter.
Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy.
There you go. I mean, I'm just stuck on the fact I wish I had another S word there, like snowmobiles, sniper rifles, and something else, just for the illiterate.
Snino Park. Not quite Snino Park as we move into Sanhok.
Snino Park, are you kidding me?
Well, I tried my best, and that's all that matters.
Snowmobiles, sniper rifles, and Snino Park.
Snino Park. As we do move around Sanhok, we will... Okay, let's see. The plane is pretty safe, pretty cautious, pretty easy as it is moving from east to southwest. Ruins is on the menu for Brazilian killers, right? They always drop there as Center B paints the plane once more.
It's always the way it works. If 2 other people paint it, one of his teammates will paint it, then he finishes.
Mitek goes for it. But Center B shuts him down, gives him the big no. But okay,
we will have dual plane.
Let someone hot drop on Brazilian killers. Fight them.
Just everyone hot drop. Guys, let's make an agreement that on the last game of the day, we all drop school.
Yeah,
just
it would be fun.
Classic pub lobby, just everyone drops school.
It would be a fun way to drop and end the day, but it is looking like Brazilian killers will be uncontested as EVO are a little bit high up to be dropping there. Already have some fellas on the ground. That is WarMaster on the ground already. Picking up some weapons, picking up some guns. Does forego the shotgun because it's not exactly worried about another team dropping here. Would have seen the parachutes and known that he's not there.
What exactly is meant to be happening over here?
Maybe it's rice. Maybe it's... It looks like more like salt.
Yeah, I was
rice,
thinking salt, but I don't know why you'd have random bits of salt in it. Anyway.
This is paradise.
This is indeed paradise, and we've got 2 teams here. Killer's team on one side, SvG on the other. Both 2 of our teams who are a little bit lower down of things, and of course both from Group E as well. So on their 3rd last game of the semi-finals. Both teams will be looking for points, so... I mean, neither of them really wants to have this engagement early on, I would imagine.
No, not particularly.
I mean, Will's right here from Killer's team has found himself a sniper rifle and an AR, so he'll be doing pretty alright when it comes to ranged combat.
Certainly will be. As SvG have found themselves in another drop that is occupied, as usually they drop at Novo on Erangel, where Real likes to drop too, so another contested drop zone for them. SvG. They're okay on points at the moment, as we do see that circle being a northwestern one. That's something we've seen time and time again on this map, especially in the South American region. We're not too concerned about that. We've had a few more central ones of late, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's looking like a Northwest Island finish, potentially on the eastern side.
Yeah, it's
based on where it is. It could also end up back on the mainland, of course, but we'll see. I mean, we've got 2 teams up in the northeastern island already, which... Does that entire island have a name? I don't think it does.
No, it doesn't really have an island name.
You need to give it one. The northwestern island is not catchy. I propose Steve.
Well, Steve is not a great name for an island. Not an islandish name, Steve. It's more of a bloke name.
Nah.
You can't assign genders to an island.
Who said Steve's a gendered name, mate?
It is 2019, approaching 2020, and anything can be anyone, or anyone can be anything. Team Solid have a long way to go, as they did find themselves at the dock. Maybe they find themselves some boats. You'd think there'd be some boats at a dock. So
yeah, you'd hope
that's usually where you keep your boat. At a dock, as Ace are kind of hanging out. We have seen some epic moments in this area, a little lumber mill. But unfortunately, Duck isn't in the lobby today to provide us with those highlight reels. He'll be playing tomorrow, I believe.
Isn't he on solo safe? He is in the lobby.
Wait, he is? Why aren't they there?
They're up the top. I mean, I'm not actually sure that Duck's playing today. They might be using a sub.
Oh.
I can't remember seeing his name in the kill feed at all. I'll have to have a look if we do swap over to Team Solo Safe. I'll have a quick check of who their sub is.
I have a quick gander, Oh, here we go. Solo Safe. No, there he is. On the screen now.
Interestingly enough, Duck's actually their sub.
Duck's actually their sub. He's MVP. Put him on the main roster.
I'm guessing that's what it is. They're just like, yeah, all right, well, you're playing really well, mate. You're on it.
Throw him a contract, mate. He's on fire.
Apparently, yeah. He's... So who are they missing? No, I didn't see it. Never mind.
Guardians, Imperium are missing the point as Bastardos are near them, and they probably don't want to be fighting them at the moment. Rotating around. This is just outside, well, just east of the boot camp, you'd say. Rush to Die did manage to secure the boot camp pretty much for themselves. Real were there for a little bit, but only looted the warehouses and then ended up running away, getting away safely. As we are on board with SvG, who have moved themselves in from Paradise Resort. It's not a bad rotation for them. They are just moving directly towards the circle. So, not too much concern for them at the moment. Everything's pretty quiet on Sanhok, really, for the start.
Seems like it'll stay that way for now. The grenade just to clear out a building there. I mean, here's solo safe. Oh, actually, I can check who they've subbed out for Duck really quickly. Fernandez, Biscatina, Notorial, and Duck. That means they're missing Veteran, who is apparently one of their starters, who I don't remember seeing him
Veteran
at all.
Or maybe one of the starting games. I think I remember seeing the Veteran name early on in the tournament, but why would you play anyone but Duck at the moment? Yeah, after that clip, he's won my heart as Ace starts to get some knocks onto Killer's team, and that is a very important engagement as both of those teams aren't in the safe zone, as Duck actually claims it himself. Speak of the man, cometh the hour, cometh the Duck. Ace are pushing very aggressive onto Killer's team now. Ace found themselves in an engagement last game that they ended up wearing the brunt of and going down quickly. As doesn't look like they will this time, as they've managed to get 2 of the Killer's team away. That is a nade that is ambitious and will not do anything. Unfortunately
not, but they are still pushing up trying to find these players. And of course, Killer's team don't need to be going down this early. They do need to get themselves some points here, as they only got, I think, 4 last game. So, I mean, they're not going to wind up in the bottom 8 today. Their worry is just being pushed in there tomorrow based on how well the teams who are currently in the bottom 8 do, as they are going to be out of games to get points in a second here. They've only got 2 more if they go out.
If they get pushed out, they can't do anything about it. So, they need a good day. Not having one at the moment, as Guardians, Imperium and Bastardo started to kick off on the outskirts, the eastern side of the circle. Influence Rage need to rotate in, Team Solid need to rotate in, but apart from that, everyone's pretty much safe and sound.
I mean, when it does come to these Group E teams who are lower down, they're sort of praying for Group F to save them. And Group F is like SG, Red Kenneds, Batman, like a few of our good teams are in there as well. So
yeah, it's a decent
possibility that the better teams can come through and knock everyone else out for them, but you don't want to be relying on other teams to make your fate.
You certainly don't, as Team Solo Safe are still in that engagement. But this is an engagement that's going to kick off. This is SvG versus Team Solo Safe. This is Duck going down early in the engagement. This leaves one Solo Safe member all on his own, so he's going to go down pretty quick. The trade is there, but it's not going to be enough to save the 2 fellas in the house. Ace now getting in on SvG, so third parties all round. But SS will claim that one, so Solo Safe getting the even engagement at the moment. We'd say that those players will be able to be revived in that house unless the spray comes down. It's not enough. SvG might be able to recoup here.
I'm more surprised that Duck hasn't been confirmed yet. I thought he would have been sprayed down in the minute that he actually went down, but he's still in the house there with him. They're yet to get around and find an angle on him. Yeah, he has indeed hid. They're trying to figure out exactly, or find exactly where he is and kill him, but...
Would be handy if he could get out of that window, but he can't.
Yeah. Unfortunately not. He's just got to hope that his teammates can come in and save him, and time is running out for them to do that.
Save him.
Saving Private Duck. Let's go.
Get in there. All right, that's a knock. Get in there, you cowards.
You cowards. Go save Duck. Not biased at all towards your favourite player, are you?
No, not at all. Oh, the spray might come. Oh, he's a day late, $1 short. Doesn't quite get the timing on the spray. Duck is still alive in there, fellas. No, not anymore.
Confirmed. They took a little bit too long, unfortunately, and they will be able to get a revive one of their other players. But if SvG come out here,
this is getting a third party quite hard. SvG, so SvG. Oh,
nice. Engagement. That should be.
He does get one knock. He's so low. Team Solo Safe end up going out. SvG only lose one player in that engagement in total. That third party really ruined it for Team Solo Safe there.
I mean, that still could have been SvG going down. As they didn't only lose the one player, but they had 2 knocks. So if that last player goes down, that was it. They would have been done. They will hold on to it, though. Meanwhile, in other matters, Guardians Imperium and WarMaster here having a bit of a standoff. Exactly that. Spread out amongst the hills and the huts.
Yeah, Bastardos are probably paying attention to this engagement too. If anything kicks off, they might come through and clean up. They are pretty safe on points, Bastardos, as they have 2 of the kill leaders as well. So they might go chasing some kills for a bit of glory if anything kicks off. WarMasters are in a bit of a 2-2 split themselves. They have 2 on the hill, ready to engage on Bastardos if they come out, and they have 2 in the compound. Just waiting for the Guardians Imperium to push up. Looks like both these teams have knowledge of what's going on around them. As the first circle does start to close in. First circle does take a while on Sanhok. It gives all the teams ample opportunity to rotate in and get to positions that they would rather be in than on the edge of the circle. WarMasters are hoping that Bastardos are moving out. It looks like Bastardos aren't at the moment, as I am got a keen eye on the map screen that we do have here. Bastardos might be a little edge camping at the moment. They are going to get funneled in. Some kills if WarMasters continue to stamp their way down this hill. Will mean that Guardians Imperium will have some room to work with and ample opportunity to move themselves in. As there it is, Bastardos all peek up at the same time. Firing squad, that's 2 players from WarMasters knocked already. The third one under pressure. Ducks behind a tree. How long will that save you for? You will be able to get naded there, son.
I mean, I was personally hoping for a bit more trigger discipline from Bastardos, like let them walk all the way into you and then peek, but they do manage to mow down 2 immediately, and there's the nade. That's what we're waiting for.
It's 1 player from WarMaster alive now. And he is...
G-Keeper, I'm assuming short for Gatekeeper, but who knows?
Well, yeah.
Or actually, is WMG their tag or is it WM? Sure, no, it's just WM.
No, it should be WMG.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nope. So his name is actually G-Keeper, there you go. He doesn't look like he's going to be too long for this world, though. As Becca smells blood, they will push up onto them, and WarMaster will go down. So potentially could have been a little bit cleaner for Bastardos, but they will grab themselves the full wipe and be able to go and loot all of these players as well. Get themselves some enhanced weaponry or improved things, more meds, whatever they can find.
More toys.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they will be shot at while they're doing that. Guardians Imperium are going to be too far away. Now,
Nova on to
Nova bridge camping by the looks of things.
Yeah, they're being nasty passes at the moment. But that is pretty decent from the side of Bastardos. That's pretty much how you want to take that engagement. Yeah, it's not as clean as you said, or as could have possibly been. It's not completely optimal.
Purely because it would have looked nicer. It works fine, right?
It does work fine.
It may not have been, 100% optimal, but it was good enough.
This is 2 of our top teams at the moment. It's 6ix9ine and Team Queso are squaring off against each other. 6ix9ine have managed to find their 4th player of the day. As I believe their sub player has come in, maybe? No.
6ix9ine?
Yeah, is that
Tassin's their sub.
So who's their 4th player? That's the new boy. Oh, that's a nice nade. He's run straight into Axial's nade. As more utility is going to be expended. Getting Myth up is going to be hard, though.
Yeah, they've got Tassin in place of Pedro. The rest are starters.
Okay. Well, they had Tassin last game as well.
Yeah, they've had him for all of the semis that they've played.
Yep.
I think we've seen Pedro since the groups.
No, we haven't. Well, Tassin's doing a good job filling some big boots, as they have a 33% chicken dinner conversion rate, so that's incredible.
That's pretty nuts.
That's actually insane, considering there's 16 teams in a lobby, and if you're winning 33% of the games, then that's spooky stuff.
Yeah, if you're coming first, 1 in 3 games, then it's pretty hard not to be doing well.
Well, I mean, if they keep that up, they will win the whole tournament, statistically. Unless
100%.
someone manages to have an equal win rate or better, which...
Well, that means when we get to the actual finals, they're going to win 3 out of 10 games.
Yeah, and you'd think that would be enough. Unless someone wins
7.
Or 7.
Which I doubt. Either way, Influence Rage here under fire. Again...
They're not going to be winning 7.
They really probably... I'm not going to say I don't care, but they're not under any pressure would be a better way of putting it.
No, of course not. They are sitting, of course, at the leaders at the moment. 6ix9ine, if they continue to go the way they are, they will overtake them by the end of the day.
Yeah. And XG are only a point behind, so unless Influence Rage do have a big day, they will almost certainly lose first, as this is their last 4 games, but there is mathematically no way they're getting eliminated. They are How many points ahead of elimination are there? 17th place is on 66. Well, as of the start of the day, 17th place was 66. Yep. So they're a full 100 points clear of elimination. AKA,
nice place to be.
Not going to happen.
So maybe it is just a bit. But if you are in that area where you are pretty safe, you still want to be placing well. And you still, if in my opinion, you want to be taking those gunfights, getting as much gunfight practice in as possible.
Exactly that. You can just treat this as practice for the finals.
But they are kind of playing slowly, Influence Rage. They haven't been playing that pacey, exciting style that Brazilian Killers did when they confirmed themselves safe. Brazilian Killers just started wiling out.
Everyone.
Yeah, and so Influence Rage, that does paint a bad picture, I guess, if they are playing the same style as they are to get those chicken dinners and they're not getting them. They're starting actually to drop out in the bottom half of the leaderboard. Maybe the momentum that they had at the start of the semi-finals has finally come to a close. As the circle finally comes to a close, it will move us towards Northern Ireland, and the bridge
eastern
camping
side
will
of the Northern
continue.
Ireland. So that's pretty much where we thought it was going to go based on where it started. There wasn't too many other places it could end up. So got multiple teams over here. Influence Rage have done a bit of a swim to land on the northeastern, or I suppose the northern tip of the island. Brazilian Killers are on the island as well, over on the western side. They're going to be rotating away. Team Queso there too. So the majority of our teams, if not already on the island, are on their way. Bastardos, Rush to Die, Team Solid, all taking to the water at some point or other.
Yeah, it looks like Mutek is on the charge, leading the charge, trying to find some safe space for the boys to rotate in. Team Queso are just south of them, and they will find action soon enough, you'd imagine, as Team Solid have made their way all the way up from the docks safely. So that's good to see. Bastardos are coming across the river too. Everyone looks like they're going to get across the river on that south side. Pretty okay. It is going to be the eastern side, or the northeastern side, where the action does kick off, and that is on your screen right now.
Multiple teams who are all looking to get across this
Killers
bridge.
team and SvG, they're all up in each other's business.
All teams who would like to get some decent points out of these games as well. So it's actually all the teams from Group A who are, or who were, sitting in lower positions. So
Guardians of Imperium have made their way into that vicinity as well. So add more fuel to the fire. Kaiser has had the biggest Sanhok game I've seen. I think he got 11 or 12 kills on one of the Sanhoks. So look to him for inspiration if you are an ace player. As he's done it before, he'll do it again. Hopefully for them. As we see them rotating around, they are going to try and rotate through that North Shore side as Team Solid are getting picked off by 6-9 players as they try and cross over the road. That might even be them out, actually, as we've dropped a squad.
Not sure if it was them or not. It looks like they do still have a few players down the hill. So don't actually know who we lost, but either way, we'll move on.
It was WarMaster we dropped earlier, and who else did we drop?
Look, you're testing my memory. There's a lot of teams in these games. A lot of teams.
I'll tell you in a second when
the games that we cast. Yeah. Look, how about you have a look through, compare the little group sheet that we have, see if you can figure it out, and I'll talk about the game for a bit.
Yeah, right.
We do have multiple teams coming in on that eastern flank. Looks like most of them are looking to take a swim rather than go for the bridge, so potentially a safer option, but Nova do have a bunch of players north of the bridge as well on that island, so they might be able to shell ace as they do get closer to the water. You can see them there on your screen, Nova with a bunch of players over on the coast there. Influence Rage have found themselves pretty safe in the compound, and the pressure starting to mount on all of these teams here. Guardian Imperium, one of their players is inside the zone, and I don't think will be recovered. Here's Nova just being a right nuisance.
Yeah, they're not being very nice to poor Kaiser. He's stuck behind that tree. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get up either.
It's worth noting they are actually in the zone.
Yeah.
Just over there.
Nova are... Well, Ace are as well. Well, Nova are very well in the zone.
Yeah, no, Ace is who I
Ace
meant.
are just inside the zone now.
So they do have a little bit of time to play with. They're not going to be under pressure to move just yet. So got a little bit of time to use these smokes, try and find the res onto these players. Or the heals, I should say.
You know, I'm looking through this sheet and I can't find it.
Can't figure it out?
No. Brain Machine broke. It's not Team Solid. It's not Team Solo. It might be Team Solo safe, actually. Yeah, it must be Team Solo safe.
Yeah, Solo safe.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go. I figured it out in the end.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo has done it again. As SvG...
Blues Clues on the hunt.
Blues Clues was on the hunt. SvG is starting to put some hurt onto Guardians of Imperium. That's on the northeastern side. That QBU, the unique weapon, coming into play. Always like to see the unique weapons being used. Of course, DP is probably the most popular one. Or the G36. No, G36 isn't unique.
And the
Winchester on
the
Miramar
Winchester
is
being
never
the
used.
least popular. Mainly
Certainly
probably
is.
because you can't put sights on the thing, so no one's really too fond of the iron sights. I mean, I did see someone earlier trying to use a dinner plate with the iron sights.
It looks
the
ugly,
irons
doesn't
on
it?
that thing are terrible.
Yeah, it looks
Can't see
very
anything.
ugly, doesn't it? Which is unfortunate because the dinner plate is such a fun gun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's much better with a scope on it, but trying to use the irons on that thing is rough.
Getting a 6 on the DP. Whew. You're chopping.
Oh,
Here we go. Killer's team in the water.
high fives, guys.
SvG joining him, taking a dip. Nothing like a romantic swim.
Oh, hold on. Is he standing on something? No, okay. Just the
No,
animation. I thought he might have found
yeah.
something to stand on. I was like, if he can pull out a gun here.
Yeah. More swan diving into the river as that's some good freestyle.
I mean, I'd like to see all of these players just call a truce. Just swim with each other.
We've got some
Nothing you
breaststroke
can
in the
do.
background as well as Nova and Real.
Oh.
They are ready to rumble with Team Queso on the high ground too, probably overwatching this.
I actually thought Nova fell off the cliff there, but they were in cars, so it's fine. SvG
There
getting
is
some
a
more
little
damage out onto
ravine.
Killer's team, who are the last team who need to be copping bullets right now. Bastardos and Rush to Die having a bit of a fight as well. Real pinned down by these teams up on top of the hill.
Bastardos are getting lit up by EVO, who EVO are pretty much center of the circle, and they're dominating a lot of the land there. They're four-man split, actually, as they've got individual players all over the place looking for any sort of third-party engagement, you'd imagine. As these teams are safe, as Real get one of their players knocked out. Ooh, there's also EVO are looking in on this fight. Nova are trapped in the crevice, not exactly the place you want to be, as you see already more knocks are coming through. That is Ayla from Team Queso, who had a fantastic group stage, been quiet in the semis though, so look for them to start popping off as Ace is starting to get in on the action too. This is starting to get rather hot and heavy as Killer's team, the player that was swimming, unfortunately the truce wasn't called to him, and he goes down to the hands of SvG. This is kicking off now as the circle is closing in. Teams are forced together. Nova are wearing a lot of fire. That ravine is not taking them safe, as Ace have tried to get into this bottom of the hill compound. It can be quite hard to hold this one.
This is
Killer's team are dead and
This is only
out.
one player from Ace, I believe, isn't it? Oh, no, there's one. So they must have had two, but only one over here by himself anyway in
Killer's
that
team
battle.
gone, by the way, team. That's not
Yeah,
good for them
that's
at all.
only 2 games left for them to secure themselves safety. I
They
mean,
need a bigger.
again, they're not going to fall into the bottom 8 today. The
No,
danger
but-
is that they can tomorrow, and that there's nothing they're able to do about it. It's their last game. Circle is going to shift, and
6-9.
it ending up on EVO there is pretty good as well, as EVO actually know only some of their players. EVO are one of the teams who's up very high, looking down over everyone else. And yeah, as you say, 6-9 in their compound there, in one of the only compounds inside the circle. There is 3, and 6-9 have one of them. Knowing their luck, it's going to shift southwest and remain on top of them.
Probably the problem for EVO is that getting off that hill, if you do come down it, is quite difficult. You'd think that going from high ground to low ground wouldn't be too bad, but it is quite difficult as there's a lot of line of sight that can come through. There isn't a lot of cover, as I believe that's Bastardos wearing some pain as well, as we've lost another squad. That
Oh, yep.
it's not great for them. Bastardos are still in the game. They are still having one player up, but 6-9 really is laying the pressure on them.
Yeah, I mean, they've got that one team solid player right in front of them, and then 6-9 shelling them from the top of the hill, which is not at all fun for them.
6-9 have been bullies today, even when they have only had 3 players in the lobby. As Team Queso have been running around. Marco has been a snake in the grass for a few games. He managed to secure them 2 second places yesterday. Ooh, he doesn't get tagged though, as Queso are getting lit
Oh
up
my
by
goodness.
the Influence Rage guys. Swap weapon, boy, get the other one out and start having another crack at it. This player from Team Queso has just managed to save his whole squad.
He nearly knocked the entire team by himself there.
Influence
But
Rage
Influence
dropped
Rage will go out. Yeah, that was their last player, as they did have one knocked. So they will be bowing out of things here pretty early on once again. But it's
Bastardos down.
6-1, half dozen the other. Bastardos are out in 11th as we do hit top 10. I believe that was
Circle
Team
starting to tickle.
Queso bowing out as well.
No,
We're starting to
they're
lose
in it.
teams very, very quickly here. We just lost
There's
3
Ace.
while
Ace
I
gone.
was talking.
Real gone. So, yeah, as you were flapping your gums, teams were hitting the grave. Nova are only 3 strong, and they are in the circle. Just the other 2 players from Nova, or the other 3 players from Nova, I should say, are in the zone, taking a lot of damage. On your screen now, you can see them. They are hurting. They are bleeding. This player, Mufasa, has no meds left. He's going to loot his boy. Gets 1 bandage off him. That's not exactly the pickup you want, as Nova are in a lot of struggles here. You'd expect one of those 2 players to get lost. As the Nova play in the zone has been knocked out, and that's the whole Whole squad
that's
gone.
Nova gone. Worth noting, we still have Brazilian killers with 4. They've been avoiding engagement for the last little while. They're going to be coming into the western side of the circle now. Speaking of Brazilian killers, they're engaging 6ix9ine, who is one of the other teams with 4 players up.
Trying to wallbang there, mate.
If you could wallbang in this game, that would be brutal, considering how flimsy a lot of the houses on a lot of the maps are. There's a lot of little tin sheds and wooden huts. Assault rifles would go through them like paper.
Well, you'd expect it, but thankfully that isn't a mechanic in the game. Otherwise, it would be very frustrating to deal with as Center B starts to knock some heads around. Rush to Die's last player is in the sights of EVO. EVO having themselves a nice game, actually. They got 4 strong and managed to find themselves there as Center B manages to find the dirt. Maybe playing a little bit too aggressive. Does happen from time to time as more Brazilian killers getting knocked down. There's only 1 player alive. Actually, it is SvG in this building. EVO have got the line of sight on them and they're finishing off these knocks too. So EVO are poking the beast that is Brazilian killers. SvG manages to knock out the captain of 6ix9ine with a grenade. Well timed, but he's getting pushed and getting poked out with his barrel. It's a powerful weapon, but might not be powerful enough to get him out of this situation as he will be the last player alive. So Brazilian killers keep finding themselves in these top 4 finishes, but unable to claim a chicken dinner just yet as he is going to get rushed down. He does manage to do some damage, but not enough. 6ix9ine will claim his life, and that will move us into the top 3. Rush to Die has a snake in the grass. 6ix9ine have 3 active. EVO, top of the hill with 4. EVO will have to move. Rush to Die's player is the only one in the new circle. Well, not anymore.
Well,
not anymore.
Never mind. Never mind. How dare you open your mouth. 6ix9ine are in a position now where they actually have to rotate, but no one's in the zone right now.
So the play for EVO here is to leave 2 players on the high ground watching 6ix9ine rotate to get into the circle and then send 2 to the circle themselves. 6ix9ine are now throwing the smoke wall up. We'll have to see if EVO does leave the overwatch there. Looks like they are as one of the players has fallen down to the bottom of the cliff. 6ix9ine are getting lit up incredibly low.
I mean, it actually looks like they are part of these hills or part of the
He wants to get
rocks,
down.
Whatever you call Yep, that's a big fall.
Oh, the zone might just take him out.
Yep.
Lay out the last bit, and he's not fast enough to get back in. So EVO all of a sudden down to 2 players. 6ix9ine do have 3. That rotation isn't too bad for them.
Wait.
He killed him by falling. He dragged him down.
Okay, it seems that way. 6ix9ine now doing a whole lot of work here. I mean, they're potentially about to take this one out. It should be all done and dusted here. There's the last kill.
Not again.
It's 6ix9ine with back-to-back chicken dinners. A situation that looked very good for EVO, but they've got it done. It's going to be an 11-kill chicken dinner again.
Once again.
So the kill distribution is a little bit different, but they're still going to be happy with that. EVO come in 2nd, Rush to Die in 3rd. So things pretty good for them. Brazilian killers managed to get a top 4 happening with only the 2 kills, but it's 6ix9ine. Highlight of the day. I mean, we saw this in the group stages as well. They grabbed 2 games back-to-back. Admittedly, that was in more dramatic fashion with Pedro getting 2 clutches rather than much cleaner team fights, but they've still got it done.
Certainly have still got it done, and that 33% win rate increases more as...
That's what, 5 out of...
No, it's 4 out of...
or 4 out of
9, I believe it is, or
4 out of
4 out of
4 out of 10?
No. Yes.
Yeah,
4 out of 10. So 40% goes up 7%. That's a good job there. Good math.
Goodness
EVO
me.
did have a good game, though, getting himself into 2nd position. So they're securing their spot, essentially, to push through. Rush to Die also having a decent performance. They kind of needed that.
Yeah, I mean, EVO had a really good time from up on top of the...
Yeah.
I was going to say hill. It's not really a hill. Just a bunch of rocks. Rock outcropping.
face.
Mountain. I don't know what you want to call it. Either way, they had a great time looking down on everyone from the Overwatch position, I guess is what we could call it. Up on high, they did do an awful lot of damage from up there, and unlucky that they couldn't get the finish there, but 6ix9ine, I mean, they're playing very well today.
Yeah, they are playing fantastically. That EVO player jumping off the cliff is just some silly shenanigans.
I mean, if he'd done it 2 meters to his left, he might have been okay.
Yeah, I guess he could have tried to go with his team and rotate down that way, but I don't know.
I mean, his problem was not the jump, it was the zone. Like, if he'd been... Because you got to take some damage getting off there unless you want to run down in view of 6ix9ine. So if he had jumped a little bit further in front of the zone, then maybe there's time to just get a bandage off quickly and then run inside the circle where you might be able to heal properly. I don't know. Either way, it's 6ix9ine who'll run away with the win. So, look, that last fight was a bit of a 50-50. As much as EVO had the high ground there, to keep that high ground, like you mentioned, they would have had to sacrifice a couple players to the zone, or they would have had to give it up entirely, as the zone moved away from both teams, which is the first time I can remember that we've had a team 1v1, like multiple players versus multiple players, and one hasn't had the circle gifted.
No, the interesting thing there, well, the key thing there was the smokes coming out from 6ix9ine, just throwing them out, making that smoke wall, made it easy for them to rotate up the hill into the zone which gave them the advantageous position. EVO getting second place is good for them, but it is 6-9 who claim themselves the second 31 kill chicken dinner in a row. They'll be pushing themselves towards that top of the board very quickly.
62 points in 2 games.
Not bad conversion rate, not a bad rate for them. As
If
Brazilian
they
Killers
started
find
from 0, they would already be out of the bottom 8.
Yep, so that's a bit of motivation for our bottom 8. If it only takes 2 games to get out of it, really, and they've already got a little bit of a head start. But you see Team Queso finding themselves 4 kills on the way to 9 points. Ace 1, much needed points for them, getting 6 kills. Brazilian Killers, Nova, SvG, they're all okay. Rush to Die should be fine now that they've got themselves a few more points.
I mean, it's just Killer's team, who we'll have a look at when we flip over in a second. They're the only real concern out of Group E. They're not been able to find themselves too many points just yet.
Real could go down as well, I think. Ace 1, with these points, make themselves a little safer, but it is Killer's team, as you mentioned, only picking up 2 points. You got to worry for them now. You got to start worrying for them now. Real Esports only picking up 3, so if these 2 teams continue that, then you would expect some of the teams on the bottom 8 to overtake them.
Yeah, you'd certainly think so.
It's just a matter of how many.
A lot of teams, what is it, 8? No, of the bottom 8, 5 of our bottom 8 teams have still got a bunch of games to play. So there's still quite a bit of work to be done for the teams who are down there. So things looking a little bit concerning for those teams, but I mean, that's the thing. The good thing about our groups today is that no one is eliminated at the end of the day.
6-9 are the top of the
there
box,
you go.
as they've got 4 chicken dinners, 1 for each member, and they still need the 5th for Pedro because he is still a member. Influence Rage, 14 games played, so 4 more games played and they've got less points.
Brazilian Killers 4, still with no chicken dinners.
Yeah, they'll continue to climb up the leaderboard too, as I imagine they'll take XG over today, but it's probably unlikely they get any further than that. Maybe Influence Rage is a victim they could claim, but 9k moved down, Red Cannons stay even. Team Queso moved themselves up, Bastardos down, so not a lot of movement there in that top end of the board.
Yeah, I mean, the next, as we said, it's the next page. It's really the interesting one on the next 2 pages. I don't think we're going to end the day with anyone guaranteed eliminated from Group E. I don't think.
I don't think so. As the Killers team are sitting still in 14th place,
Yeah, so
no one's actually moved on this
nobody
board,
moves.
so
There you
that's
go.
a rare sight.
I mean, the good thing is they are at least opening up the gap a little bit. I mean, they're at 88 points, so they could well get themselves to triple digits by the end of the day, which
Right.
means that they're 20-ish points ahead of the teams who are a couple games behind them, but I mean, it's not looking ideal.
No, it's looking actually pretty awful. Actually, when you do the maths and you do the probability of teams below them playing the game and moving up, like these teams all have points ready to be claimed.
Yeah.
So the probability of them getting a 4-point day or something below them is pretty low. So Killers team actually, for me, are more likely to be eliminated than to be safe.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. They've still got a few games yet to be played. Of course, this is our bottom 8 now with 5 of our teams starting to pick up some points in some games. We've got all our teams who are on 10 games of playing today.
Yeah, that's important points for EVO too, because they need to keep moving up. If they suddenly play 2 games and the next 2 games and only get 2 points out of them, then you'd start to worry for them because that would be in 12 games, 63 points. Then you're all of a sudden talking about them being eliminated. These guys aren't going to be eliminated though, as they keep moving up. NTX returns to the board, knocking one of the Bastardos out. Law moves up now, 23 kills, tied with Center B. But it is Mixera and Swagwin leading the way so far. Mixera still has a lot of games to play too, so
Yeah. Still got
can't wait to see him in action soon.
Still got a whole bunch of games left to be played. When I say a whole bunch, I mean 4. But
that's a bunch full.
that's a bunch. It's a full day, right?
No, it's not a bunch worth of grapes, but it is a bunch worth of kills.
Sure.
A bunch worth of grapes would be like 15, 20.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, 4 is a bunch in PUBG terms. There you
Yeah.
go. If you ever want to talk about a bunch in PUBG mobile terms, you know it's 4. There you go. We've done that. We've done that. We've coined that. That's our contribution to the PUBG scene, apparently. Either way, that's half of our games done for the day. So getting towards crunch time, and I don't want to harp on about them, but Killer's team are the team that are...
Need to go. They need to start.
Yeah, they need to start getting something happening here, or else I don't think they'll end up in the bottom 8 today, but they will shift in there potentially very rapidly tomorrow. Either way, there's 2 games left for them to prove themselves. We'll get to those 2 games, though, right after a short break. We'll be back in a tick. So far, it's been all 6-9 who've been dominating the last day, or the second last day of the semi-finals here in the North American region of PMCO 2019 Fall Split. There we go. That's a lot of words to get out, but we got through them all in the correct order, I think.
That's what we're paid to do.
Something
words,
like that. Yeah,
orders.
words. Exactly
Yep.
that. Speaking of words, if you want to see more of them, and maybe not ours with that amazing intro, but if you want to see everything that we've done so far in PMCO 2019 across all regions, it's all available on the PUBG Mobile Esports YouTube channel. All of it goes up there. Some of it's even streamed live. Well, all of it is streamed live as it happens, and then VODs will go up there afterwards if you want to catch up on anything you've missed. And if you do want to play PUBG Mobile, it is completely free, available on the Google Play Store and iOS App Store, depending on what sort of phone you have. So far, we have 6-9. Even though we didn't think it was going to be the way at the end of Game 2.
No,
there are 2 games out of 2. They've won 4 out of 10 in the semis.
That's incredible numbers. 4 out of 10 in the semis.
And they got 3 in the groups?
They got 3 in the
so
groups, yeah. So
7 out of...
This is the most chicken dinners any team in South America has won. Because
7
nobody
out
got
of
4.
22, I think they've played so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
22 games so far. Something like that.
7 out of 22 is a pretty good conversion rate, by the way.
Pretty crazy.
That's insane numbers. We'll have to see if they keep it up, though, because, I mean, the lobbies get tougher and tougher as you go further on into the tournament, obviously, as we're eliminating the weakest teams, or the lesser performing teams. So we'll have to see if they can continue up this pace, because it is a record-setting pace. You'd imagine that nobody else has got 7 out of 12 chicken dinners on any of the other regions.
I mean, 22, but yeah.
Well, yeah, 22.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually know. I'll have to have a look at see if there's any. I mean, there would be stats available, so we might have to inquire at that one and get back to you all maybe tomorrow. But we'll see. Either way, we now jump into Vikendi for the last time for the semi-finals. As tomorrow we'll rotate back over to Miramar. So
Center B again.
Center B with the plane paint
Yeah.
every time. It's
Every
actually the same
goddamn
order of
time.
players who do it as well.
Coordinated, I guess. As the flight will go from Dobro Metro Mesto in the
Dobro
north
Mesto.
to the
Dobro.
Cosmodrome, over the Cosmodrome, all the way to Trevno in the northeast. It is a okay playing path, considering it's not the biggest map in the world. It is a medium-sized map, and there are lots of vehicle options. Teams won't be too sad about trying to find themselves in their preferred loot zones. So it's going to be a slow start to the game. It always is a slow start on Vikendi unless something crazy happens, which quite unlikely as Brazilian killers find themselves moving south. Everyone else finds themselves moving around too. I want to see someone hot drop though. I want to see some action. As we do get the circling, or zoning in about Tovar. Tovar is about bank center in the circle. Castle's in there as well. Volnova, Abbey, Dino Park. Mount Kresnik. There's so
Snino
many
Park.
options. Snino Park.
Snowmobiles, snipers, and Snino
Is
Park.
this SvG on the third drop of the day? They have another team
Yeah,
occupying with them.
they've
so
had contested drops every map so far, and
Yeah.
you would assume it's going to be 4 from 4 unless they change their drop location when we get back onto Erangel after this. So have to see how that fight goes for them. Team Solid have hot dropped with Influence Rage, who were up until the start of the day when 6ix9ine got involved.
Well,
they were our first place team.
that bloke's landed on top of the Cosmodrome, which you don't want to do because it's very deceptive, and he's fallen down.
Oh, yep.
They mentioned this is where dreams go to die, and
Yeah,
it could be where dreams go to die for Team Solid.
Yeah, that's
They've lost 2 players already.
If you missed the context of that, we were looking up some Vikendi trivia the other day and found on the official PUBG post about the thing, they said nothing survives on Vikendi, even dreams, I believe, is exactly what it was. So either way, we'll see if that's going to be the case here as Influence Rage here.
It's a Mexican standoff.
Bergs, I don't actually know, has spotted out Kevin here and is looking for the third person cheeky spot around the corner.
Kev's left his mate out to dry. He's the last one for Team Solid, and now he's moving. He is dead. He is gone. He's done for.
Yeah, he's got the VSS as well, which is not a close range weapon. He'll be getting sprayed down. Nothing he can do.
Good night.
Team Solid will be bowing out in 16th place, which is not ideal for them. I mean, they do still have another day of games once these ones are done, but they were also, I can't remember exactly where they're at now, but I don't think there's been too many changes in the bottom 8, so they're still going to be down in the lower half of that, like somewhere between 20 and 24.
Yeah.
They've still got 4 games to play after today's done, but you don't want to be
once again.
Exactly, you don't want to be leaving it late if you can avoid it, and they can't really avoid it now unless they get like a big chicken dinner on Erangel, which it's worth noting they started out they made it into the semi-finals by getting a really big chicken dinner in the very last game.
Yep. So I don't think they'll do it twice in a row though. I think Team Solid, unless they get some big points in the last game today, they might be leaving it a little bit too late. We need double-digit points from them in the last game today, otherwise they are cooked.
That's the thing. We're playing 16 games per team out of 24 because we have less teams, so everyone gets to play more. And, of course, that means you do have, in theory, more chances to recover, right? But it also means everyone else has more points.
Myth,
so
by the way.
the bar for recovering is higher.
Using the correct skin is Myth. He's got the mummy skin on, the white helmet as well, so he's ready to blend in. He's ready to go hard in Vikendi.
Ready to be a sneaky boy?
I want to see if you are wearing that skin. I want to see as soon as you get your armor, your loot, maybe a gun or 2, just send it. Full send it straight into the middle of the circle. Lay down. Alt-tab.
Alt-tab.
See how far you can get. Yep.
Go check Twitter.
Go check your Twitter. Maybe post a bit on Facebook. Take a few selfies.
Just prone behind a rock and tab out of the game. Just yeah, man, I can do this. That's what you do if you get the white ghillie. That's the strat. If you get the white ghillie from a crate, just lie down somewhere.
Go find a bush. Lie down in the bush. Chill out. Wait for it all to blow over. I can't remember the exact quote from Shaun of the Dead, but it's something about going to the pub and waiting for it all to blow over.
It's a cracking movie, by the way.
Yeah, it is actually a fantastic movie. Might watch it again.
I was just thinking I'm going to watch that tonight now.
Yeah.
Either way, talking about this game again, where only one team is dead so far. So instead of Shaun of the Dead, we have
Team Solid.
Team Solid of the Dead. Yeah, I was trying to think of a better way to make that work, but there's no other way. Anyway, yeah, saved it. Teamwork.
Bit of a friendly nudge.
Yeah.
Don't try that at home.
wouldn't recommend it. I mean, at least we haven't had any weird flipping out like we've had with the buggy a couple of times.
It really only does happen with the buggy. The buggy's the only car that has the
buggy, well named.
Yeah, buggy, very. But no, it's the only vehicle with that wacky hitbox that makes that happen. So Darcia can do some silly things too, but you don't see it very often. Darcia's very quick. There's Myth, 300 damage. That's a decent number for him, actually.
I mean, all of 6ix9ine would be having some... okay.
That's
all of 6ix9ine would be having some pretty decent performances. So... Where's that team knock? Oh, never mind.
No, it's fine.
It's GTA it. Turn the wheel.
He's the captain. Is the skipper behind the wheel, so you'd hope that he's got his driving boots on, driving gloves on. Left-hand
drive, so got the steering wheel set up on the wrong side of the car.
Yeah, wrong side of the car for us, of course.
Yep. And
this is
we're in the minority.
Crash. This is Killer's team who desperately needs points, going up against Solo Safe, who also needs some points. So Killer's team finding a knock. You will imagine he will be thirsty it out. He does see the player, though.
You'd want to hope he can. I mean, they do need every point they can get. So
that's one.
It's actually almost a priority for them to go for the thirsts mid-fight, even if it's not the safest of options. In terms of getting points on the board, it's better to secure what you can. And it looks like Solo Safe are actually going to bug out from that.
We see a lot of teams get those engagements where it does come down to a 1v1 and then the winner is able to revive their whole squad. I would like to see a shift for those lower teams to prioritize finishing those kills, just because you'd be so disadvantaged if you go into a fight, you knock 3 players, and then all of a sudden it turns and everyone gets revived. That's 3 points that you're essentially putting in the bin. It can be quite difficult, obviously, if players do crawl into cover or if there is that crossfire and you have to do it. It is situational, but I'd like to see it happen a bit more. 6ix9ine are getting into an early gunfight versus EVO. EVO might have bitten off a bit more than they can chew, as Myth has 300 average damage. He's looking to improve on that.
And it's only one player from EVO who's actually here immediately in this gunfight, and Myth spotted him. That was a very easy kill for him. He had the spot in third person. There was not a lot they could really do about that. That should be a free confirm as well. Myth's going to go in for that. It's just going to take some time to heal first.
Ace knocked 2 players. Two players knocked, and Kaiser's actually been thirsted out. So 6ix9ine have finished off that straggler from EVO, but that's 2 ace players who have been thirsted. So they're a team that was in the danger zone as well and continue to be so. Because if you do drop out with these low point tallies over and over again, I mean, realistically, you could get the worst performance you could get is 4 points in a day, and 4 points is nothing. It is laughable.
Especially when we're sitting at, I think we'd actually be pretty close to, no, we would be at half our teams now are in triple digits.
Yeah, there would be just over
I think triple
half.
digits extends down to like 13th place or something. We'll have to have a look. And this is something that we will talk about at the end of the day when we do get the very final standings, which will cement where Group A are, well, not where they'll end up, as they can still be overtaken, but where they'll be at the end of the day at least. And that's where we can theory craft about points and how safe teams are and all that sort of thing. Either way, that is all to come. Team Queso, Axial here putting some shots in towards that Bastardos car, but not going to get anything out of it. Luckily for them, they are split at the minute. 2 players up the hill by the looks of things.
Yeah, it looked like poor Axial couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with that spray. Nothing connecting.
Yeah. It's a car driving away from him. Target gets smaller as it goes. I'll give him benefit of the doubt.
We usually see him being pretty sharp, so...
Yeah. I'll excuse that
Maybe
one.
he's playing on a different phone. Maybe he doesn't have his gaming phone today.
Maybe. It's not got his gaming
chair. By the way, if you are a sponsored team in this game, you should be crying and hollering for a gaming phone separate to your social phone as well. I can't believe that I've been talking to some of the players in NA, the pro players in NA.
And they're just like, we just roll around with, just pull the phone out of the pocket, take a phone call, play PUBG Mobile in a tournament. You know how it is.
Like insane to me. That is crazy talk. If I was a professional gamer playing on a phone or on mobile device, I would definitely be crying and investing in not a gaming phone like a Razer phone or something,
but just like a separate phone.
A high-end phone, with a big display.
And something you can uninstall all the bloat on and make sure there's no social apps so you're not getting notifications and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, 100%.
M249 in the crate here, full level 3s and a white ghillie as well. So as if Brazilian killers needed
at least it's
more
not
lethality.
We saw Center B get a ghillie last game and waste it.
I mean, they've also got a bright orange car, so you win some, you lose some.
This one's blue. It's nice. It kind of blends in a little bit. It is going to be Mutek taking the ghillie. And I'm sure he would have made the executive decision on that. Not the captain of the squad, but... Well, no, it could be. Who's the captain of the Brazilian Killers?
Brazilian Killers. Yeah, it's Mitek.
It's Mitek, so he has made the executive decision there. As you see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, 160 points they've found themselves at, sitting at rank 4. That's pretty safe. I want to see them get in the action, though. Center B, send it. Team Queso found a nice little
Send
compound.
it B.
Send it B, that's it. Oh, that's one I was avoiding. As Team Queso have found themselves in a compound that is surrounded by teams, but that's just the way Vikendi plays. Nobody is in the south, by the way. They've all relocated pretty central. There is a band, I guess, from east to west of teams. They're all in a line, waiting. Nobody in the castle, cowards.
I mean, we did see in our early games on Vikendi in the group stage, we saw teams taking castle, but pretty much since then, it's been a ghost town. No one's really seen the worth in being able to control that river, and I guess it's a lot of it's going to be zone dependent as well.
Yeah,
like if you're one of the only teams on the eastern or western side of that river, and then the circle pops on the other side, grabbing that castle can be valuable to get a lot of damage on teams rotating, but we haven't really had that play out.
Well,
as the circle will shift
I'm
to the northwest slightly.
This is an awful circle for spectating because nobody has to bloody move. It looks
You're right.
like a lot of teams, the only team that really has to move is
Influence Rage have to drive about 20 feet.
Yeah, that's going to be rough for them, but they should be able to make it in. 6-9, their compound has line of sights on it, and they're just kind of avoiding fire as WarMasters actually have pushed up. This is one of the 6-9 players in the WarMaster compound, in fact. So
I thought they were all on the same team for a sec because their nameplates are similar colours.
But
that is indeed one different
that's one
player. In the meantime,
Solo
EVO
safe.
taking some shots into solo safe.
That's not a team you want to see getting knocked around at this point. Solo safe player is actually driving in a car towards Influence Rage guys. So Influence Rage could stop and start spraying him down.
Adino's made it out.
Yep, that's...
He's gotten out of the compound, found himself a car, and Houdini'd out through the smoke. Exactly that.
In a Jeep from the smoke.
And he's baiting them all to the windows as well for his teammates who have the line.
Yeah, this
Love
is
that.
Influence Rage rotating past Team Queso. They're very low Influence Rage as he takes 23 damage again from the shot, so he'll be on about
not much health.
3/5 of nothing as health blows out. Actually, his car blows up, so Real managed to spray him down as there are about 4 squads within QE of each other. Team Queso, Real, EVO, they're all on top of each other. As Killer's team are now rotating in from the north too, so they're left their run a little bit late, and hopefully they don't suffer the same fate as the Influence Rage cars, getting sprayed down heavily.
I mean, the other thing is they don't really need to move that far in. Like, they're...
No, not very.
Considering that most of our teams are clustered around the middle of the zone, they've got, judging by the scale on the map, what looks to be about half a kilometre roughly before they actually get within shot of any team. So they do have quite a bit of safe space they can move to within the zone that won't expose them too much. So looks like we are just going to see them hanging out on the edge of the zone for now. There was a knock there with a snipe as well. Real with a player they'll need to pick up, but they're already on the revive, so no real pressure there.
I like to BM my teammates when I revive them. Like, what the bloody hell are you doing that for, you silly duffer? You can't afford to lose your helmet.
Either that or go for, like, start revive and then stop.
So, the griefing like that.
Yes. Worth noting, only do that with your friends who are okay with it. Don't do it to randoms. This has been a public service announcement of don't be terrible when you play the game.
Circle's closing in. Hopefully we see a big southern shift and Brazilian Killers can just mow everyone down. Or
western, just generally, like northwest, just something.
Something to really mess the teams up, as feeling rather cranky today about this circle being so safe. I really want to see some action. Vikendi continues to upset me.
It has been one of our slowest maps overall. I mean, in fairness, the teams are all playing very safely. They don't really need to take risks and compound crash each other. This is probably the correct way to play this out.
100% the correct way.
It's, it's a bit of a waiting game here. It's not as bad as, when you used to get as many points for placings as you did kills, and you just have teams who'd hide in a corner somewhere for a year to get placings.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but still, I want to see some action.
Either way, circle is about, or the zone is about to touch the circle, which means we'll have a shift, and let's see if it's going to displace any of our teams here in just a moment.
I'm going to throw something if it doesn't.
I'm going to take cover.
Whoa, you.
Hey, look, Killer's team has to drive about 30 feet.
Yeah, they got to drive about 30 feet, but...
Wouldn't that be right? I mean, Ace and Rush to Die might end up in a bit of a fight here. They are on the edge of that circle. Brazilian Killers are untouched in the south. No one's going to go near them as they have no reason to move. WarMaster and SvG are poking and prodding at each other, but again, no one really needs to commit to a fight here. So
That window ledge is taking a beating.
It is. What did that window ever do to SvG? That's what I want to know.
The problem is when this does kick off, it's going to be too hard to cover everything.
Oh, yeah. The kill feed is just all of a sudden going to go...
Yeah. There's going to be absolutely no way to keep up with it all. We'll do our best, but this is the worst part about Vikendi, is that you get these circles. It can happen on any map, really, but Vikendi is the most common because it is a circular map in shape.
And I guess because there's so many compounds as well.
Yeah,
like, there's so many places to hide. It's all quite hilly. The visibility is nowhere near as good as the other maps because of the snow. It's just tends to play out a lot slower.
Certainly does, as we are restricting the play area, but...
In a minute.
Yep, so we got a minute of just hanging out, I guess. As one of the Rush to Die players has made a run for it towards the center of the circle, he'll end up just in front of the Brazilian Killers, you'd imagine, unless he hooks it left. He has hooked it left. He's basically just leapfrogged Ace, just moved a little bit closer, scooting around the outside of Dino Park.
I mean, this is where... In case you missed the broadcast the other day where we were talking about Vikendi Trivia, this is the sort of situation why we were looking at Vikendi Trivia, because we had a circle like this where everyone was just sitting in compounds and doing nothing. I mean, I'd love to, theory craft about what's going to happen and who's going to go where, but...
I might boot up the game myself, actually.
Yeah, we'll just start playing. The problem is there's so many teams central that I don't really think anyone's going to be displaced by the way this goes, or if they are, they're not going to have to move too far. The majority of our teams are in pretty good positions, so unless this is the hard shift to end all hard shifts, maybe like Southwestern or Dino Park or something, the majority of the lobby are going to be okay. So
I probably could have got a few team death matches off while we were doing this, actually.
I mean, you still can, mate. It's not going to help you cast very much, but...
well, the thing is, it's 16 minutes in, the action's going to start kicking off soon, we're looking at the fourth circle, so chances are I'll get about halfway through my team deathmatch and then I'll have to start paying attention.
Doing your job again.
Doing my job.
Circles should be shifting slightly to the west here just to get that last bit of water around Castle out.
I'll tell you what, if we get another Vikendi, some in South America, and we get another circle like this, I'm booting it up.
Yeah, get straight in there.
100% booting it up.
Just like, see if we can get a feed running out of your phone and like just have you and a Pip playing the game.
Yeah.
In the bottom corner.
Teach you guys how to play the game. I'm a bit of an aiming prodigy. So just be watching.
Let's watch a caster play the game rather than
the professionals,
rather than 15 pro teams.
You're not really watching a lot of
You're right.
play.
I mean,
there we go. We got a knock. We got a one to WarMaster. That's a nice snipe, but it is a snipe on Vikendi, so he's not going to get it. So
yeah, I mean that's the second time that player I think has hit a snipe recently, and none of them have been confirmed. So
padding his damage stats.
Yeah,
trying to beat Myth out on his team.
Got to stat your pads and pad your stats.
Yep. Ooh, 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 ooh.
He keeps crouching every time he could be taking a shot. Come on, guys. All right, circle. Let's do something interesting.
Let's go.
That's
why? Oh, come on.
All right. Chief called. He said it ain't it.
Yeah, I could have got the team deathmatch game in. This is
really
awful. But
hold on, gunfire. Things are happening. Killer's team, Solo Safe, Guardians Imperium, and Ace are all slightly outside the circle, as well as Brazilian Killers, who are moving into the center. So maybe it's our Lord and Savior's Brazilian Killers who will go and force the issue for us.
It's Mitek first though. It's not Center B. So
the other three are in cars. Mitek's on foot, so maybe Center B just plows past him right now.
Collects him on his way through.
I mean, I hope not.
You can't actually do that in mobile, by the way. You can't hit your players.
Oh.
Can't run them over. The only way to do damage, I think, is a grenade. Like a HE explosion or a Molotov. And friendly fire is off.
Oh, man. I mean, probably a good thing.
Very good thing. Oh, here we go. We see some compound crashing coming in. The Killers team are rotating in. They've found themselves a compound because there's 26 on Vikendi, or 28, so
something like that.
Take your pick. Villa is occupied by 2 teams, but Villa's big enough for the 2 of us. Lots of room for activity. The rent is cheap as it is being spread amongst 8 people. Not a lot of facilities or utilities available as you don't see many beds laying around in that villa. As we have got more... more action.
More stuff.
I hate this map. I hate this map. I'm going to say it.
That's fair. It's not as exciting. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's... I don't know. I'd be curious to know how the teams feel about playing it, but...
It's incredibly exciting in the final moments. Like, the final moments are fantastic of this map, but it's just the lead-up going into it is very slow. And really, there's no easy way to fix it, because if you change the zone, you're changing it for the other maps as well, and that will ruin the other maps. So there is no really easy way to fix Vikendi because of its shape. The shape is the problem, because it is circular. There is, like, a very minute chance that you will get a circle that on the start of the game that really forces teams to stack up on each other. Whereas the other maps, they have more square features. So teams are forced to stack up on each other because water is often in play. Whereas Vikendi, it's not. As we see the next circle pop, if this goes central, I'm going to be murdered. But there is enough time now. There's a lot of teams that are having to rotate in because the circle is so small, Tim. There's action galore ready to be gifted to us on our screens.
As entertained by you hating this as I am anything else that's happening. That said, we actually do have a decent amount of teams who will need to mobilize now. Brazilian Killers coming into Tovar on the south. I did just have a look and see if Tovar had a trivia page, but it does not. Couple of...
That's Law
coming through. It's Bastardos, yeah, Law grabbing himself some damage there as well. Guardians Imperium now starting to bleed out as well. So finally, the fights that were promised are kicking off.
Oh, they're definitely going to kick off now. We're going to see Rush to Die now also get in the cars and start to mobilize. Ace have a little bit of a high ground on them. SvG are in the area as one of the knocks is confirmed. To see Evo camping out, Influence Rage. Who looks like those two have decided to have a bit of a rumble in the jungle. Lack of jungle, more snow, but here's a nice angle from Lopez from Bastardos, getting ready to punish these Guardians Imperium guys. They do manage to get one breath, but that player will be knocked immediately again, so he is hurting. As Bastardos smell blood in the water, it's time to feed.
In they'll go, charging in towards these Bastardos players. They're actually getting backdoored here by Guardians Imperium, which is not what they wanted, but I don't think it's going to go too well. There we go. Guardians Imperium bow out in 15th place.
21 minutes in, we lose our second team. Good job, Vikendi, as more action is breaking out across the map. We see WarMaster's taking shots. Killer's team are getting crashed by Team Queso. That's going to be a big one to kick off. And then we see Team Queso getting a bit of an advantage in that fight early on, but will it be enough as one of the Killer's team has perished? There's only 2 alive on that squad. Mystic is going to work. Axial now chimes in, and this could be the side of Killer's team out and about. So you'd have to think they will be gone in 13th place as Influence Rage lose their last player. Team Queso doing a good compound crash there, but Killer's team, what a disaster it has been for them today.
Yeah, today has not been kind to them. Vikendi is continuing that trend, unfortunately for them. They do need some points pretty desperately now coming into Erangel, so they'll need to pull out a big performance in the last game of the day, and we do get there. But in the meantime, the remainder of Vikendi awaits. We still have 40 players, 12 teams. Still quite a bit to go here. Looks like Team Solo Safe might get collapsed on by the Brazilian Killers here, though. That's
certainly is.
The only real engagement we're looking at the minute is I think Team Queso and Bastardos are far enough apart. As I say that, they immediately start engaging on each other, so obviously not.
SvG now, that is the Rush to Die players getting poked at as the circle moves incredibly central. 6ix9ine, who would have guessed it? They're in the circle. One of the last circles. 6ix9ine find themselves with the best position in it. Brazilian Killers are looking around for the last 2 members of this solo safe squad. Ace are also only 2 strong. You'd expect Brazilian Killers to clean this up really quickly, unless they just decide to get out. They don't know that it's only 2 players. The Swagman gets attacked from an alternate angle. That might have been the players from Ace taking some long shots onto him. Team Queso and Bastardos are 2 of the 4 strong teams that could find themselves engaging on each other soon as EVO start to make a crash into the middle of the circle. They're going to be greeted by 6ix9ine gunfire if they continue to go any further in. They do not. They choose to just take a break quickly, have a Kit Kat as they are now moving in.
Not a sponsor, by the way.
Not a sponsor at all, but still a good slogan.
Yeah, look, it is a good one. The bright orange vehicles, very stealthy here on Vikendi for Brazilian Killers, but I can't actually imagine that Brazilian Killers care too much if people know they're coming or not. They're still going to compound crash.
They are loud and proud.
6ix9ine and EVO having a bit of a skirmish around a rock here. SvG still edge guarding.
Brazilian Killers are pulling up on this too. So we have 4 squads now all of a sudden in the mix as the captain of 6ix9ine has scouted this out and put some damage into the Brazilian Killers. Good way to start the fight for them, but it is EVO that could be a spoiler with this,
Nope.
as they've got their car out of a sticky situation. It's in the smoke as Nova start to kick off onto the Bastardos. That's on the northern side of the circle. Nova have been guarding that for quite an amount of time. Brazilian Killers get one of their players knocked down. That
And
is
this is what we
Swagman.
were saying. As soon as the action started, it's going to kick off a lot. That's Swagman actually getting confirmed there as well. Nova still taking shots onto Bastardos. SvG continuing to put the hurt onto Rush to Die. We got a pip of, I can't even make out who that is.
That's going to be the northern
That
fight.
would be, yeah, the northern fight of...
It could be the Nova fight by looking by the teams. It looks like a Nova Bastardos fight. We see 6ix9ine ready to defend their God compound with... It isn't on the high ground though. There is high ground above it, so it isn't that powerful actually.
Yeah, but it's
Now I
also
think
in the
about it.
circle, and their luck has been the circle shifted into them.
Team
A
Queso's
lot
moving
of
towards Real.
teams now coming into this circle as well. Ace's last player is sitting in the zone, so essentially not too much more happening for Ace 1 this game.
They definitely need more points than just one, so needs to get a wriggle on. I reckon he should make a dash for it. That southern side could be a good third-party engagement.
It looks like he's still moving,
Look
but
at Mitek.
he's well in the zone.
Putting Molotov down, trying to deny the area that WarMaster can flank into, so Paralyze can take some peeks over the top. He does wear one to the chest. See his vest being very low. Center B getting in on the action though, knocking a few out. Paralyze is being third-partied.
Yeah, it's WarMaster who get involved. Well, actually, no, WarMaster one's fighting. Either way,
He has no helmet and a beard.
yeah, I mean, the beard can stop bullets, right?
Yep, no.
I refuse to test that before you
yeah, I was
suggest it.
about to suggest it.
Yep, nope.
But Brazilian Killers are now wearing some shots they don't really need, as Paralyze is knocked, Swagman is out, it's only Center B and Mitek for them. So Brazilian Killers could find themselves, ooh, that's a nice nade too, getting some knocks out early. It is going to have to be a bit of a clutch situation for them. They do have the right players for the situation, as they've got the Skipper and Center B.
I believe we just lost Ace as well to the zone. They are
Lucky.
done.
Wales Real too, maybe? No, they've still got some players kicking on the eastern coast. Mystic from Team Queso has been knocked out. He's one of their higher fraggers at the moment. As Center B is starting to spray into smoke. Paralyze knocked down, so it's still only 2 up for the side of Brazilian Killers. The zone starts to shift in soon.
And it's shifted onto 6ix9ine.
Yeah, it has shifted on to 6ix9ine.
Of course, it has. Why would it not at this point?
Where would you
EVO
rather
are
be?
also there inside the circle. Team Solo Safe going for a crash. Brazilian Killers, if they can get themselves out of this gunfight, will find themselves
It
in
was Nova
potentially a
that
bit
got
of a
knocked out,
flank.
actually. Bastardos have
Nova are
cleaned
gone.
that up.
There you go. So Bastardos cleaned up Nova in the meantime.
Good work from them, by the way. They were getting edge camped by the side of Nova, but I believe Team Queso managed to help them out a little bit from a nice angle. As Team Queso now starts to put the hurt on, that is the AUG in the kill feed, putting Bastardos players down. This angle that Team Queso have is quite potent, as this fight has been going on for quite a while. Center B hasn't actually managed to collect on too much.
Your boy Duck just got a kill there as
Look at
well,
that.
and now there's another team coming in here. This is getting difficult for the
SvG.
Brazilian Killers as the WarMaster fight's going to be cleaned up for them, but still worried. There's another white ghillie here in play with Kako, so we've got 2 white ghillies in the game now.
You want the Brazilian Killers now to start pushing, and 6ix9ine starts to claim kills onto that, and all of a sudden SvG found themselves in a really sticky situation where they're not going to be able to get much out of it.
There was one WarMaster player way off, who even knows where. He's going to get confirmed by the zone, and
Yeah, he's
WarMaster
done
will bow out. So, I mean, at least it does some damage onto SvG before he goes down, but they'll be able to get that res pretty freely.
Oh,
Brazilian
goes
Killers
down.
taking more damage, and of course it's 6ix9ine who have actually pushed out. They're rolling around together and going to take these fights. It's looking pretty good for
They're
them.
gone, Brazilian Killers. Dunzo.
Yep, they've just knocked out Brazilian Killers. That's 6ix9ine with a whole bunch more kills for themselves. The only team with 4 remaining. SvG can join them if they get all the revives happening, which I believe they have the space to do. Team Queso as well, if they can pull up their last player, will still have 4. The rest of the lobby suffering here quite a bit. Bastardos and Real just the 1. Evo and Solo Safe with 2. Look on board with Solo Safe now with Duck, who is their sub, but also who's been one of their strongest players
Don't
so
sleep
far.
on Queso. They might get... Marco actually does get knocked by the play zone, so as I say that. But don't sleep on Queso's last 3, because they are in a very decent position. Marco will go down to Evo, last player from him, taking some shots, or last couple of plays from Evo. As the zone moves, it is not favouring anyone really. 6ix9ine are on the edge, but it doesn't really give them a massive advantage.
Evo are on the edge as well, but
This is
Evo are
Solo
only a
Safe.
2-man squad, so they're not in the strongest position either. That said, they do get a knock onto one of those 6ix9ine players. It's the Captain Kashora who goes down. That's not the greatest of starts for 6ix9ine. They do want to recover that if they're looking for their 3rd chicken dinner in a row, which at this point you'd have to imagine they are.
Ayla, he wants this. He kind of knows he's going to underarm it. That's a bit higher. It's a bit of a high ball. It will land, but...
Notorial
not
Millie
enough
runs into that
damage.
one.
Yeah, you'd think that Team Queso want to clean this up.
Yeah, they want to get
Quick smart.
themselves
They're
the extra
hurting
couple
for
of points.
They're hurting for the... Not the med situation, but the armor situation, as Ayla has now spotted this play. They've both actually spotted each other. Sprays come out, not going to connect to anything. That rock is rather fortunate to be there, as SvG are now hitting some nades from downtown. This is going to help.
Here comes the flank as well. Swagger charging in to clean up a couple of these frags. That'll be easy.
Oh,
no, never
it's
mind.
not easy when Duck's on the mic, mate.
Duck spins around and is able to find it. Nitsu as well wants to go in and clean it up, but has to fall back and heal. That said, it is just Duck remaining now, and
Flames won.
No, okay, he has gone down. He did do all right, but yeah, he got done with the play zone. But 6-9, still with 4 on the board. They're still looking pretty good here. They have claimed for themselves the high ground too, by the looks of things.
So you'd imagine these Molotovs won't amount to much. He is spotting the side of EVO with these Molotovs, but not able, because you are throwing right-handed in PUBG Mobile, that you can't really curve it. If you were throwing left-handed there, you might be able to be curved around. As Real get knocked out by the play zones, that's their last player gone. We have a game on our hands all of a sudden on Vikendi, fellas. Team Queso in a decent position. They are getting squeezed out by the zone and EVO, so they need to deal with EVO. One of the last players from SvG has poked around, and WarMaster. Mystic has dealt with that threat quite comfortably, as 6-9 starts to put hurt on.
Yeah, 6-9 are getting
SvG
involved
are
as well. SvG just got eliminated by 6-9. That gives 6-9 the control of the top of the hill as well. EVO and TQ both in pretty difficult positions here. Both stuck behind the little bits of cover they've been able to grab. 6-9, I don't think they're going to be able to find an angle onto Team Queso. They will with the nades, but I don't think they'll be able to get shots on. That said, they will be able to do so onto EVO. As soon as these guys come out from behind that little bit of cover they've found, have to see the circle's about to move. Will it shift to 6-9? Yes, it will.
Well, I believe it's the closing circle, so it is going to center up.
Oh, you're right. No, that's my mistake.
So it is going to center up, and 6-9 do have the easiest access to that as well. So EVO are pushed right against the zone. If they try and rotate over this rock or around the rock, Team Queso are going to have a line of sight on them.
They've got 10 seconds to figure it out. Whether that involves smoke grenades, whatever they're going to do.
So Ayla is medding up now. He's got given 7 med kits. That's the key thing. So
his teammates are going to push for frags, and he might try and heal this out.
Yeah, he's going to try and heal through the zone. And you can do it with the first aid kits. You can heal through the last zone for a while. We saw Cloud9 make a dire mistake, and you'll see Ayla just push himself as close to that rock as possible, and 6-9 will start to push around for kills now. They know that a med off could be in effect, as EVO players aren't coming out to greet them.
Yeah, Mid's going to risk it. He actually wants to find
these guys.
This
is a beautiful
and,
angle, though.
Oh my goodness, so well played. They're going to find all of them.
Team Queso gone.
That will be Team Queso out. EVO, and there was one player left as well, and they are no longer in the zone. 6-9 have played it perfectly. They're leaving their last player in the edge of this zone. They've just got to clean out this one last player. It's actually doing pretty close. If he can heal up, this could be it. All of 6-9 are going down, but they will just about grab the frag in the end.
Yep.
That was very close indeed. All 3 of their players could have gone down there. If that one EVO player had any heals he could get off, that could have stolen the game. But it is 6-9 who go 3 in a row. 5 out of 11 games now in the semifinals they have won.
5 out of 11. That's insane statistics from them. They got a 10-kill chicken dinner.
If they can get the next game, not only will they be at a 50% chicken dinner rate, because that'll be 6 out of 12, they will have won all 4 of the games in a day.
Yeah, that is...
Like, we haven't had a 50% win rate or a 4-win day yet.
No, we've had XG get 3, but we haven't had anyone get 4, because that is just unfathomable. I'm saying they're not going to do it.
I don't think they will.
That is
Too
just incredible. That is... No, that's impossible.
I mean, technically, statistically, the odds of them winning Erangel are exactly the same as the other 3 maps.
I mean, maybe, but...
And if I wanted to be a smart aleck, I could say, oh, it's 50%. You either do or you don't. But, I mean, of course, the odds of winning any one map is the same as the others. That's so well played there as well. The zone crunching in, like, look how low their players were at the end. That was nearly stolen from them, but they do get it over the line. They managed to win themselves Vikendi in what was a very long game. It's actually the first game in, I'd say, 3 or 4 days that's gone down to the very final circle.
Yeah, in South America.
Although I suppose the lack of circle is
lack of circle, yeah.
Yeah, the thing, the ever-closing zone.
That last EVO player, he stopped the heal animation because the players from 6-9 were pushing him in, and so he had to go for the kills, but he also had to go for the heals.
Yeah, you're in a winnable situation. If he'd had like a second longer to get any heals off, I think he would have been able to steal that win.
No, because he needed so much time to get a first aid kit off. But as soon as you stop the animation once in the final circle, you're done. You're out.
Well, that's the thing. Like he would need to stick that animation, and maybe if he gets that off, then maybe he steals the win. But 6-9, I mean, it was touch and go. There's a numbers advantage is only going to push you so far, especially when the zone completely closes in and there's no safe places to hide.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter how many players you have, because you can't keep all 4 players alive.
Exactly, and the zone's going to tag everyone down at the same rate. So it was close, but they do manage to grab themselves their 3rd chicken dinner of the day. It's not quite as high scoring
It's
as the
1
other
point
two by
behind, come
1
on.
point. So they've had a 31, a 31, and a 30. So 92 points for the day. They're
They're
looking
gonna break
at 8
100.
more points for a 100-point day. Now, we haven't yet had a 100-point day.
No, we haven't.
We've had a high 90s. We had a team who were very close. It must have been XG, right, if they were the ones who got the other 3 in a row. So
we also had Cloud9 in NA get a 94-point day.
yeah,
so
but we haven't yet had
quite
100, so this could be it for 6ix9ine. Looking at the rest of the leaderboards,
Evo
we do have
needed
to
that.
talk about
It's
not
good.
6ix9ine for a moment. EVO did need those points. Real get themselves 8 as well, so that'll be pushing themselves a bit higher. Brazilian Killers don't gain too much out of that, but
It's good for Team Solo Safe as well.
yep. So again, it's like everyone, we identified a couple teams at the start of the day who did need to get themselves some points, and Killers team are the only ones who haven't been able to deliver.
Team Solid as well, not getting as many points as they need. Ace1, they're still in that zone where I think that they could be on the cusp, but they might just be able to squeak through.
Yeah, I mean, they should still be in the low teens
Guardians
for overall
Imperium
placings.
as well. Some of these teams that are on the bottom of the board, Tim. See these teams
Mhm.
down here, if they only get 4 points for today, then all of a sudden Guardians Imperium, or not even 4 points, they only get 10 points for the day, then they move up to 53 points, and that's all of a sudden 53 after 12, you're looking at that elimination
We've
zone.
had a team break 200 for the first time. Brazilian
6ix9ine.
Killers hit 199 in the group.
Yep.
6ix9ine with 5 chicken dinners make it 211 for them.
That's
The top
disgusting,
4
Queso.
remain unchanged despite a hideous amount of points gained for 6ix9ine. Team Queso and Bastardos move up, but these bottom places have just been shuffling around a little bit. So, I mean, the top 8 is whatever, right? At this point,
Yeah.
we're just being impressed by 6ix9ine, and that's essentially all we're doing. They still have 4 games to play. Jesus, I forgot about that.
Yep. They still have 4 games to play after this.
I forgot that they weren't done. All right. Team Solo Safe make it to 15th, so they're not safe, but they're doing okay. Again, they still have 4 games to play as well. SvG, I mean, all the teams who are on 15 have done pretty well so far. It's only really Killer's team who are struggling. Like on this page, we've got SvG, Ace1, Real, who have all put themselves pretty safely into triple digits. So they're going to be feeling okay about how things are going, as they're what, 30, 40 points in front of the bottom 8 so far.
Isn't that much? Like,
It's
if you
not a
look at this,
lot, but we have had a lot of
like, yeah.
teams who've had not 40-point days.
EVO
so.
are making their way up as well now. Guardians Imperium and Team Solid are 2 that need to get the wriggle on now, because if they go out 1-point games or single-digit point games here, they're going to be in that elimination zone tomorrow that we will be talking about, because they'll have to do so much work. So Guardians Imperium, Team Solid, even WarMasters, they need a good game to finish off the day. Otherwise, they are going to be in real strife. EVO are in the same boat. If they only get 1 point next game, then all of a sudden they start to stress as they will be in the elimination zone.
I mean, the interesting thing for me is the kill leaders, the players are unchanged, the order shifted a little bit. The interesting thing for me is how much the gaps are starting to open up on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
The gap between the bottom of the bottom 8 and the top is like 50-ish points now. The gap between the, 16th place team and the 9th is, I think, also about the 50-point mark. So as we get more and more teams playing more games, it does require bigger and bigger point gains to actually catch up. So things are starting to get a little bit risky for our teams who are on the bottom end here.
Yeah, things are getting very, very risky. It's so hard to call, though. With this structure, you don't know how many points is going to be safe at the moment. You'd assume triple digits would be safe, but even then, if some of these teams at the bottom tomorrow, because it is going to be one of those lobbies where the top half is going to be missing.
Yeah,
so it is
top
going to
half
be
will be
basically
static.
an all-bottom lobby tomorrow, which means that someone's got to win, so someone's got to move.
Yeah.
But who knows who's going to be.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what makes tomorrow exciting. For now, we do still have one more game of Erangel left for, Group E. This is last chance to get some points for them. For Group G, they're sitting pretty. They've still got 4 more games tomorrow. And if you're 6ix9ine, you're feeling very good, sitting so far in front with 5 games yet to play. Either way, we have one more Erangel coming up right after this short break. Don't miss it. It's last chance for Group E.
deathmatch. Endless respawn, endless fun. There is a better choice.
Circle shift hard southwest.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, Team Queso are
It's the last
suffering.
Batman player,
Yeah.
actually. So at least he's getting some points for his fellas.
I mean, he's sitting in the zone at this point. He could just... I mean, Marco is stuck.
Yeah,
There's no one being knocked, so... Another awkward three-party fight. Crazy. They
might have
just
just
knocked
knocked
out
Influence
Influence
Rage,
Rage.
yeah.
They did. The trade, though, will come through, and all of a sudden, just one player left for Ace now. It's Trace, who's already been knocked twice, who's left to try and do it all. It's 9k against multiple, or I should say Trace against multiple of 9k.
maybe 2, the Red Cannons and Bastardos. Oh, big spray comes down though, and now it is certainly ending for the way of the Red Cannons as they've knocked 2 players down. Here's just the one Bastardos on half health in the ditch, in the gully.
They're going to push in him
Spray
as well.
comes down,
Not
he's
going to
getting
find
so
it
low,
just
so
yet.
that's
There
them
we
down.
go.
It will be one player from Team Queso remaining.
Push to come in there. Red Cannons will be able to grab that
Their
kill
last
at
player.
least. And now they're looking to essentially try and clean up SvG, actually, as that's, I think, what they've done.
Well, his player is reloading. If the Red Cannon's got the 3rd kill, he actually just finished 3 of SvG. They filed in 1v1.
It's going to be so much fun.
What we haven't seen though is 404 getting involved in early fights. The first 2 games we saw them very involved in early engagements.
Yeah, I mean,
This game, very quiet.
I guess the trade-off they're making is, sure, they would go...
Vehicles.
Oh,
He gets him out
Run him
again.
down,
Gets
son.
the second, goes for the run over, but no, it's just straight onto the hay bales, flies straight on forward. Goes down.
Yeah, and murdered is not the way you want to go down. Old age, maybe as they...
You don't want to go down.
Old age, maybe as they...
You don't want to go down
Don't
by
like
a
that,
vehicle
no,
flip
no.
either.
That is a big
Goodness
one.
me, that is...
And this man has
PDZ
8
knocked
kills
out
now, I
and
believe.
gone, yeah. Probably out here, I don't think he's going to have the angle.
Oh,
Indeed,
he
he
is
has
a-
been spotted. He's going to stand up there for the kill, but he can't.
Or long range kills, if you can, in the early on games. We're here trying to get over that hill. Will he make it? He only got 1 wheel.
Elementrix try and push in, but they're coming up against Orange Rock, they're coming up against Hydra as well.
He's just waiting.
Aman has already gone down for entities. They've lost 1 of their 3 Snowblow Snakes.
A few moments later.
Yeah.
Where they have 1 guy who is just waiting in.
Poo-poo
This
man.
might be go time. I don't know if they spotted it out. There's 2 of them right there.
Oh my god, Neo.
Oh come on,
This
he's
guy
gonna
is
go
a
in.
really strong fragger as well.
No way. He's
Shoot him!
Neo.
He's not fighting your team!
Leaky!
Kiki!
Kiki!
Come on!
He's right there!
You know he's there!
Oh,
my God!
What is going on?
Oh,
my
he's
god!
part of the teammate!
He hasn't chucked it!
Kiki,
Oh, it's
Kiki,
a third
please!
person. He's
Oh,
gonna
he's
spin
getting
out.
out! Oh, he's gone! Ah!
What is happening?
Neo! Neo, please!
He's right there!
Oh,
my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's the last game of the second last day of the semi-finals here at the PMCO 2019 Fall Split. We're in the South American region. We are getting close to the pointy end of things. It's the final game for our teams in Group E, and a few of them still need the chance. They still need the points. 6-9 are our team of the day. If you did just have a look at the loading or the waiting screen, I suppose, the break screen, they've won 3 out of 3 games that we've played so far. If you missed any of them, of course, you can find all the games for all the regions in a bunch of different languages over on the PUBGMOBILE eSports YouTube channel, where everything goes up. It's also streamed live. If you want to keep up with all the action, that's a great way to stay up to date. If you do want to play the game after watching everyone else do it, here, of course, it's free on both the Google Play Store and the iOS App Store. 4 from 4, what are your thoughts? You reckon they got it in them?
No.
Nah.
I mean, like,
All right.
I don't know. Maths is just easy to do, and it's this equation of, can a team do it? No, it's probably like a 1,000,000 in 1 chance they can get 4 from 4. Of course, they have been on fire today, and the circles have been gifting them, but when does your luck run out? Would they have won all those games if the circle just kept on gravitating towards them? Who knows? Maybe not that first game. They only had 3 players in the lobby.
Yeah, they only had 3 and they kept 3 the whole time.
That's an amazing feat. But, I mean, I love 6-9. Don't get me wrong. One of my favourite teams. They've been playing incredibly intelligently, which has been where their success has lied. They haven't had the most kill points. But it's really hard to see them getting 4 in a row. 4 in a row is just insane odds. I mean, I don't think any PUBG team in the world has done that, let alone in such a competitive lobby as well. We're talking about this lobby being like the cream of the crop with Queso, Brazilian Killers, 6-9, Influence Rage, all in there, Bastardos, all in there. That's 5 teams I can list already that are chicken dinner, winners.
If they do, how's this for a stat? If 6-9 win this, they will push their win rate to 50%.
Which is just
6
stupid.
out of 12 games won. Which,
stupid.
Look, let's not get too excited because there's still an entire map to play out before we decide that. But it's the fact that there's any potential for that is ridiculous. They're now rivaling XG for most wins in a day, who, if I remember correctly, XG got 3 wins in a row and then went out in like 13th or something.
Yeah, they just bombed out.
So they're our other team who were close to a 100-point day, and they went out, I think, 92 points or something. Currently,
I think 6-9 can get the 100-point day.
Yeah, they've got 92 points at the minute. 31, 31, and 30 with their scores of the chicken dinners. So they only need 8 points from this game, which is
doable.
What? Anything in the top 10 plus a couple of kills pretty much will get them that?
I think it's doable for them. Unless someone like really tries to ruin their day, but that could backfire and then all of a sudden boost them up as well. So
watch Brazilian Killers hot drop on them just to say no.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
I would too, actually. That would be quite the fight,
fantastic.
considering that Brazilian Killers haven't really been as on point so far. Like, they haven't had the greatest of times recently.
No, they've had 2 good finishes, a top 5 finishes.
Like, they've had some solid games, but nowhere near the dominance they were displaying in the group stage.
They look like their playstyle for today looks like they've been prioritizing the placement points. They haven't been really, really aggressive. And that could be playing on their mind because they haven't been playing for the placement points the whole tournament, and now they might be trying to adapt back into that because placement point playing is usually the way you want to be playing when you're playing full serious, and they haven't been playing full serious as they've just been compound crashing and trying to take as many fights as possible. So they could be trying to get some practice back in of playing full series going into, well, this is their last game of the semis. Yeah. They're pretty much guaranteed their top 16 placement. So they might try and be playing as serious as possible, just get back into form, get back into practice of doing that. Because it is coming down to that top 16, the finals, the regional finals, where Brazilian Killers will be present.
Yeah, we're going to be eliminating teams in positions 17 through 24 at the end of tomorrow. So for Group E, which is mostly composed of our top 10 teams.
That's a rude plane.
It is indeed. It's last chance, last game for them to get some points on the board. The plane is heading across. You can see it there on your screens, heading from east to west across almost the very bottom of the map. That's probably the most southern straight plane line you're going to have.
So we had 4 teams crash into Military Island before, 6-9 being one of them. Real, SvG were there as well, and I believe Nova was the 4th. How confident are you on going military base now if you are 6-9, knowing that this plane ride will draw more teams in than not?
Now, it's worth noting, we had this plane line yesterday on Erangel, and we thought that it might limit a few teams in terms of looting. It didn't. We still had teams make it all the way up to Georgia Pole. We had a couple in Yasnaya. So it didn't really affect the looting too much of our teams, so we'll see. Brazilian Killers are still in the plane. They should be getting out just about now to go to Pubg, and indeed they will. So 6-9 heading onto the military island as well as SvG.
Real have aborted mission, and they have given up Novo So it is going to be Nova 6-9 and the side of SvG on the military island. So already there's more room for activity down there. Real look like they're going towards Prison and Pubg, as we already see an ace player take a knock, as well as get traded as well. That is very early. That must be down in Milta. They have just parachuted straight into Milta and started fighting. Ace and Team Solid both need points still. Ace are on the safer side of things, but not incredibly safe. That circle is very safe though, isn't it?
Western Circle once again. We've seen a lot of those. It's looking like it's going to end up around probably Gatka, somewhere around there.
I mean, how many times have we said that?
Yeah, there's been a lot of games that have entered, that have ended, south of Ruins in that sort of area. A lot of Western Circles, really, for us across all maps, and especially Erangel. So everyone's going to be safe to start with pretty much. There's only a few teams that are actually outside. EVO are getting anti-aired by Brazilian killers, by the way. They're still parachuting down and copping some shots.
They hit a shot, Center B. He's trying, but that is a very ambitious shot. There's no way he's hitting those.
It is indeed. In the meantime, though, Ace and Team Solid getting into it. They've got a shotgun on the loose here as well. This is not looking good for Team Solid, who they do have some more games to play, but they are one of our teams in the bottom 8, and they do want to, well, ideally get more than 1 point would be the aim for them here on Erangel.
Definitely need more than 1.
It's the last game of the day. It's their, 5th last game? They've got 4 more to go tomorrow, so they were looking for some kills. That said, though, so will Ace, as this is their last game of the semifinals.
This is the last game of the semifinals, so you want to put as many points on the board as you can, because you have no more opportunities to move up. You can only move down after today for Ace. Cooking a nade, but Zono is cooking perfection. Oh, catch that.
I thought I actually made it through the fence, but it bounced off. Just a little bit off target, unfortunately.
Looked quite intimidating in the player point of view, though, as it came straight at him, hurling at him. Those guys are out of the zone too, so if that fight goes on for long enough, it will be quite hard to deal with. But Ace are doing a good job of winning this fight, as they're not giving an inch, but they're taking a mile.
They still have a player they need to revive, but they're doing a lot of damage to these Team Solid players. Chaco's going to go on the push here as well, and might actually be able to catch him out. Look at the line of Ace players there. Are they even going to res?
No, they have. He's already resed.
Oh, he's already up.
Yep, he's already up.
I get bamboozled by that so many times, seeing players on low health. Yeah,
because it is the same, almost the same shade of red as
that's what gets me. Okay, so they have res. Presido will hang back with his low HP and provide covering fire as the other 3 push up. They do have a good bit of crossfire set up. Team Solid going to pop some smokes for themselves, but they've already lost 2 players here. They've got 2 left. As we said earlier, they don't want to go out in the 16th.
No, they don't. Brazilian Killer's just looting, probably getting 1,000 cars. Full
That's
loot.
Their standard, yeah, thousands of cars.
Doing whatever the hell they want with this lobby, because their early games are so easy for Brazilian Killers. They have no contesting. But it's been the mid to late games where they've faltered today, and they haven't had the hottest run. As we see Ace and Team Solid go at it again, and I believe that's Team Solid out. 16th place, no kills.
Yep.
1 point for them. That is disastrous, as they need the points.
They do. I mean, they've still got another day, so they're not out of contention. They're not out of the running, but once again, just like the group stages, they are leaving it until the very last minute to get the points they need. So they'll have to have a big run tomorrow. But that is now a tomorrow problem. We'll keep an eye on that then. In the meantime, Killer's team, who are on their actual last chance, this is final game for them. They are still in the top 16 for now, but I think they're at about 14th, so they'd love to move up a couple of places here, as there's a lot of teams below them who can move up with some good games.
Yeah, Team Solid taking a play out of my book and leaving things up to tomorrow to deal with.
Due tomorrow, do tomorrow.
That's it. I actually did a load of washing last night.
Oh, yeah?
And then I didn't hang it up on the railing. I just laid it out on the big marble thing that we have.
Oh, yeah? How do you think that's going to go? Is your window open?
No, it wasn't. Oh, no.
Your curtains aren't open. Bro, there's no sun coming in. And
no way that's going to dry. Oh,
I mean,
well.
If you want, I'll grab your key and I'll go and do it for you.
Nah, you're all right, boss.
Either way, look, it'll be
anyway.
fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
You don't need clothes.
It's a tomorrow problem.
Exactly.
I'll just open it when I get home, then won't be able to sleep. I really messed this up.
Ready for that early wake up tomorrow morning for the last day of semis.
Yep.
The zone is closing in slowly, but most of our teams are already in safety. SvG on their way in now. Ace behind them and Guardians Imperium behind them. So we could have a little bit of a car chase here, especially if Nova decide to go north off the military island and go that way too. 6-9 are heading over the western bridge. Myth already over there, and the rest of the team heading over there. Yep, exactly that. I mean, I don't know how safe houses really are on this map.
I've never had a problem in a house.
Yeah, but I mean, would you want to buy real estate
Not in Watertown.
on an island like this where a deadly storm closes in?
I mean,
every 20 minutes.
yeah. Okay, so the deadly storm is a lot more problematic than the players. 'Cause
That said, it doesn't actually harm any of the houses.
Yeah, but
because
how's
they're
people in
always here.
houses?
So the houses themselves are quite safe, apart from these ones in Watertown, obviously.
no, they are not as safe.
So
Nova have chosen to rotate over the eastern bridge of Millie that isn't actually in the zone, and they've also rotated where there's a lot of teams. We saw lots of teams in Milta duking it out, so SvG are on that bridge still, or under the bridge maybe, as the Nova player does move across the bridge. You can probably see soon where that SvG player is. He's just north of there, so interesting they chose that, as Ace are looking for more kills. They're spamming onto the Real player, and you're on a buggy, you're not in cover, you are going down.
That's Elias out immediately. Real, another of our teams who are in group...
Ace. Good on you.
Goodness me. Another of our teams who are in Group E, so that's another no points possible for them. And I believe they're actually in a pretty similar position they were at the start of the day as well, around 11th, 12th, or have they moved up any higher?
No, they're sitting around 11th, 12th. They had one decent game and they scored double-digit points, but apart from that, hasn't been much to write home about.
It's actually surprising.
Look at that.
400, wow. It's surprising me how little the middle 8 have moved. Like, we've had a few shuffles in the top 8. The bottom 8, we've got a few teams starting to move up, but the middle 8 is largely unchanged.
I think we had a lot of middle 8 playing today, and they've all just kind of been getting points and just...
Yeah, just like everyone's been having equally average performances.
Yeah, so Isla, 400 damage is a lot of damage, right? Because that essentially converts to 4 knocks worth of damage.
It's a team wipe.
And Queso haven't had the most incredible semi-finals. They have had a good enough semi-finals to get through, but they haven't had incredible semi-finals. So Ayla's doing an absolute metric doo-doo ton of damage still.
Classic doo-doo ton. What's that, an Imperial?
I can feel that's not safe for broadcast.
SvG here rotating through the middle of a couple of different teams, or well, of a team and a player. Real with one guy over in the building there, but he probably actually doesn't want to open up on these guys and let them know that he's there.
No,
he
probably
is
not.
on his own, so...
Oh,
it's
that
like,
Real
SvG is just going to compound crash him.
Oh,
well,
no.
that's rude.
We actually might be seeing his mate getting the UAs there. They're only at a 3-man squad, Real, so... Oh, they've gone straight past him, actually.
He's counting his lucky stars, thanking his lucky stars.
Yeah.
Whatever you do with your lucky stars, he's doing it with them.
Someone is looking out for him. Somewhere in the world. A higher being. A higher presence. Maybe it is the ghost of Pedro looking after him.
The ghost of Pedro.
Yeah, that's going to be my storyline now. The ghost of Pedro has blessed 6ix9ine on this day to 3 chicken dinners.
I mean, let's see if they can get a fourth
sacrifice
off.
it. It's kind of like summoning Exodia. You have to sacrifice your Pedro to summon 3 chicken dinners.
What did you have to sacrifice to summon Exodia?
The arms and legs.
I honestly can't remember. Whenever I played the game, it was just, if you summon Exodia, you win.
Yeah, no, it's like the 2 arms, the legs, the torso, and the head.
Yeah, well.
2 arms, 2 legs, 4. Torso, head, 6. Yeah, it is.
Something like that. I mean, I just know that me and all my mates I played with, like, this is, 15 years ago, so we didn't play the game properly. It was just, we all had a full copy of Exodia somehow, so which is like, if you summon him, you essentially win.
There was a lot of cheap knockoff cards, actually.
Infinite attack.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a big problem with cheap knockoff cards.
Yeah. I think like half of mine were real. Anyway, I've still got them all like in a box at home somewhere. I've got hundreds of the things. Them and Pokemon cards. Millions. Anyway, Pachinki is finally actually getting some action. We're actually having Brazilian killers not being respected. There is 2 teams crashing them.
Well, they're not.
They're crashing Pachinki.
There's a lot of room.
Hold on, a Brazilian killer's leaving.
Yeah.
They are as well. Come on. Just when we thought.
Well, they might be setting themselves up there. It looks like they are setting themselves up in like the farmhouse south or maybe the hills south of Pachinki, which is a better place than being inside Pachinki itself, right? Because if you are inside Pachinki itself, then all of a sudden you are prone to getting compound crash, the nades come out. Whereas if you're on the hills, you're not getting you're not getting crashed as hard, and you're able to get line of sights to shoot at things coming your way. Whereas if you're in the house, you have those limited line of sights because you're only able to shoot out windows. So this is a smarter play from the side of Brazilian killers, but it will see less action, you'd think, as they do still have Mitek hanging around there.
I mean, to play devil's advocate, there's no compound to crash when you're in the hills.
Well, exactly. That's right. You're just playing around trees and defilate.
Just get hill crash.
But that means
I don't know.
you just have to
but
better
you're
line
right. They do have a bit more cover. There's grenades coming in from 6ix9ine here, and
this
is a big engagement. Brazilian killers, one of our teams who have been on top, and 6ix9ine. Not that they need it, but they're looking for the 4th chicken dinner here.
There's a flank coming through from one of the Brazilian killers players. I believe it's Mitek. So
yeah, he is indeed on his way over there behind him. You can see him on your screen. Center B's going around to join him as well. 6-9. They've got to be careful here. This may actually be them getting crunched on.
Get them, boys. It's a 2-2 split, 4-6-9 as well, so they're not all grouped together. So if one of those sides goes down early, as Mytech has been found and knocked, so 6-9 working together. That's Myth and the skipper. He's doing a good job, and they've flushed him out too. So now Brazilian Killers might just fall back to that farmhouse, knowing that they are one down. Center B doesn't really want to fall back for anything. He's got the M249 on his back too, so M249 mini loadout for him. Plenty of 5.56. That's a big grenade from Center B. Sends the skipper to the dirt. El Captain is taking a fall, but Myth is there ready for the revive if he's able to find enough space to do it. The nades are coming through.
Piling in onto 6-9 here, but they're not actually able to find anything just yet. This 2-2 split now actually almost favors 6-9 as all the Brazilian Killers are focusing on the two players they've spotted.
They're going to get angled on here as well if 6-9 are able to push up just that little bit higher. They'll be able to find the Brazilian Killers players that are pushing towards that knock. There we go. Already Center B dropping very low. He does do a drop shot, but he is found in the dirt. So now 6-9 are finding the knocks, and they've knocked two of the Brazilian Killers. There's only Paralyzed remaining. So 6-9 have handedly won this fight. What a way to win it too.
Decimated them.
4-0 or 3-0 as Paralyzed gets in his little Juarez and starts to book it out of there. But all the boys from 6-9 are getting shots in. Using the Deflator's cover, he will be able to escape. But 6-9's day has been amazing as the Ghost of Pedro powers them further on into this game.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought that Brazilian Killers had a pretty good shot in that fight due to the positioning, but I mean, 6-9 played a massive bait play there with Myth and the captain just running around with... I mean, they distracted the entire Brazilian Killers lineup and allowed for the cleanup. Circle has shifted south. It's, I mean, half of it's unplayable, right? Because some of it's on the island, which no one's going to go over there. The river's in play, and no one's going to use that. So we essentially only have a half circle to use here, and a lot of players to fit in it. 55 alive, all heading into what is quite a small area.
There is a really, really high chance that it shifts back onto 6-9 as well, because it will go
It has to go north, pretty much, right?
So
because this is full shift, so it has to go north here.
Nova onto GI, and that's the fight we are seeing now in another farmhouse. Nova look like they're getting the best of this trade at the moment with one knock. Now the second comes out too, so GI are not looking hot at the moment. That will be a confirmed kill too, in a minute you'd imagine.
Oh, I think he might have missed his chance for the moment. I mean, it's still, he still should get it done, but...
That would have been very comical.
Return to sender, much. Good thing he didn't cook that anymore.
Yeah, no, that would have been rough.
I mean, in fairness, I have no idea how that bounce works. Is that grenade made of rubber?
Yeah, I wouldn't expect metal to bounce like that. One of the Nova players does go
unless you
down.
Really pegged it.
So it is down to a 3v3 as we see Kaiser appearing in the kill feed. I believe that's knock number 6 for the side of Ace. They've been the kill leaders so far as they've claimed 5 confirmed kills. That's 5 points for them. And as more nades ring out in this fight, GI holding in the compound and around. Nova getting a spread.
Oh my goodness, how's this for artillery?
It is quite worrisome though, because they are expending all their nades in this fight as Tress gets a knock onto one of the Influence Rage players.
Yeah, I feel like everyone on both Nova and GI is thrown. Now they should have thrown all their nades. Come on, boys.
Paralyzed confirmed.
Where are you keeping them?
Paralyzed actually confirmed a knock there. So
where are you keeping them?
Don't know.
They got big pockets, dude.
Deep pockets to carry those nades. Nades are heavy too, actually.
They've each got like 4, it feels like. I think now we are finally out of nades as Kaiser continues to damage onto Influence Rage. Nova
they'll have smokes,
do want to get a move in at some point, and yeah, look. Guardians Imperium have heard me, and they're like, yeah, all right, we don't have any HEs. Here's 1,000 smokes instead.
Yeah, they'll be keen to use all their smokes. Might as well use them if you got them. Don't want to die with grenades in your backpack. That's always a very frustrating way to end a game of PUBG, mobile PUBG.
PUBG in general, really.
PUBG, yeah. But this fight isn't going to kick off for a little bit as they are all in the zone.
I'm actually surprised how clean this rotation has been for our teams, given that this circle is essentially half the size it could be, but we still... I mean, yeah, of course, 6-9 found themselves in a nice area, and the circle shifts onto them naturally.
Well, it's...
Just. But yeah, I mean, like, given how little area we have to work with, it's been, up until this point, pretty clean rotations. Not many gunfights apart from this Nova and GI fight, which is still just inside the zone.
This could be sticky for 6-9 if they don't move, though, because those yellows that RD and Bastardos are in, Rest to Die and Bastardos, they are having a small high ground advantage, This fight's still in the zone, so it's going to trickle on for a little bit. But if Rush to Die, no, they are just going to move on the coastline. If Stardust try and rotate in more central, then they could find themselves running into 6ix9ine, and EVO are in front of 6ix9ine as well. So 6ix9ine aren't in the best position they've had all day, as Nova are starting to put the hurt towards GI. That's 2 players on the deck. There's only 1 up for GI, you'd imagine. Not anymore, there's not. He is down, and Nova will retain their 4 players unless any third-party action can come in. Bias to the third-party action being an option.
Yep, a lot of warning shots out to cover for his teammate to get the res. And I mean, I guess if you do get shot at from multiple areas in the same compound, it's kind of sells more that the team is trying to fight you rather than they're all hiding and healing. So, bit of the intimidation factor.
Paralyze might be in a bit of strife here as Team Solo Safe rotate onto his position. He has got Brazilian killers, at least 1 kill by stealing one, but don't know if he's going to be able to do a lot more from his position. Yeah,
I mean, it was always going to be tough when they went down as early as they did. Again, they're not really in a position where they need the points, but...
Don't you go out on me.
Oh, yeah, no, Killer's team are definitely in a position where they need points. They need to get... I mean, realistically, they probably want 15 to 20 points from this game, right? And that's going to be tough given how their games have gone so far for themselves, but it's definitely possible. Rush to Die, one of their players just fell off the cliff. Oh, dear.
Happens to the best of us. As Rush to Die tried to crash in that coastline where the WarMasters are located. 2 members of Rush to Die are there.
Oh, never mind, they didn't fall too far.
One is bleeding out, only just. That WarMasters player is getting information on them.
Oh,
their
that's
whole squad will
WarMasters
get
down.
picked off, yeah.
Zoom gets picked off at range, and that, there you go. It was SvG who stole that kill, and or who took that kill and knocked the squad out. Yeah, so it was a third party. Rush to Die are in cover for now, so...
Oh, kill his team.
No, please, guys, come on. I believe in you. 6ix9ine taking another fight, and you've got to feel bad for Bastardos here. This is a team who have already taken out Brazilian killers without dropping a man, so they're going to be feeling pretty good in their gunfights thus far.
Bastardos are another one of the teams with some of the kill leaders, so they've had 2 players up on the board for quite a while.
Yeah, Law and Becca, right?
Yeah, they did, but I believe one of them dropped out to make way for this next race player.
Yep.
So we are seeing 2 of the top squads go at it again.
Team are getting DMR'd as well.
Yeah, they only have 1 player alive at the moment, so they're cooked. But this is a very interesting fight to cover. This is one of the moments I was watching for because 6ix9ine were on the edge of the circle and they had a few teams that wanted to rotate through them. This being one of them, as I don't think they're going to come away from this fight unscathed. Stardust have a very nice setup here.
Yeah, look, there's 3 players up top drawing the fire, and Becca's down on the side as well. He will be locked out by the smokes and by the hill itself for now, but at least he's unknown, and yeah, he knows his angle's changed, so he's actually going to go back up and join his team. So
he needs to get in the circle too.
Arguably, that does bring things in 6ix9ine's favor a little bit, as they don't have as much of a flank to worry about. You can see they're still checking it though, but Kishora is very clued in.
He's nicked that off Center B. Center B had that M249 before.
So he did. You're right. There we go.
No, 6ix9ine are in a lot of pain here, a lot of pressure. They're going to need to pull out a little bit of a miracle. They are on the low ground and they are wearing damage. The spread from the Stardust is good. This is going to have to come down to individual playmaking. I think as one of the 6ix9ine players does drop early. That's a skipper. That M249 is gone. The second M249 rings out. One of the Stardust players drops down. He spots the second player too, crouching, but now 6ix9ine are in an awful position as 2 of their players have been knocked. Bastardos, they're going to get aggressive on this too.
Oh, but 6ix9ine are still fighting back. They're doing some good damage across.
Only have 1 player alive.
Bastardos have only got 1 guy up. Yeah, that's right. It's just Matos who's left, and they're going to go up and try and find that fight on him. It's going to be a difficult one, but they will win it. 6ix9ine again. They're going to knock out another team and another big one as well. That's one of their main contenders gone, and they'll be able to res both players. The damage keeps up for 6ix9ine. That is 2 squad wipes for them now.
Circle shifts onto it.
Circle moves onto them, and Killer's team are locked in a compound with Nova breathing down their necks.
Yeah, no, they're cooked. If Nova know they're there, which they do,
she's
they knocked
cooked,
them before. Yeah, no, she's cooked. Killer's team, they do manage to claim a kill point though onto Real, so good job there. That is 2 teams that need points as well, so not too bad. As Ace are in a decent position, they'll be fighting off versus EVO. They found themselves in the circle as well. Next circle is a bit of a smaller one, as Team Queso will be rotating in with Solo Safe as well. Rush to Die have just blown up SvG's car, so SvG's 2-2 split hasn't worked out. 2 of them go down immediately as Solo Safe, EVO are kicking off. Team Queso, sorry, is in the area as Mystic takes one of the players out. Team Solo Safe might have just abandoned ship and blown up as all of them go down pretty quickly. Ace not in a fantastic position, but that was Solo Safe bleeding out.
3 teams occupying the 4 houses in front of us here. It's going to be pretty difficult for all of them as they're all kind of split up and spread out.
It certainly is.
A pretty tricky fight for everyone. There'll be more grenades coming out of Team Queso here in just a
It's
second.
another ace player bleeding out.
Yeah, it is indeed. That's not looking too great for them. They're one of our other teams who would have liked some points for there. Again, they were safe at the start of the day. They'll remain safe now, but they will want some more points just to try and push that buffer as far up as they can.
They got a lot of kill points, though, Ace, at the start of the game, so they should be okay. As Paralyze has found himself in a really rough position, but he is snaking it out. He's found himself pretty central. Has taken a full bullet, so he's okay for now.
Actually thought he went down there for a second because his nameplate disappeared, but he's still in.
He's alright.
Still hanging about in the game. Nova onto SvG. That is a nice angle here from the Fusser, sneaking out or peeking out the window.
Only 2 alive.
But he's still got to worry about the 3 other teams who share this compound with him, so can't be too hasty with getting the third partying happening. Not going to be a problem for Real though, as Rush to Die are now getting involved, putting some bullets into Real, who are another team who don't want to go down, and that's it. I think they just did. We just lost 2 teams.
Team Queso are in a decent position in this compound. Killer's team are flanking in from the back, might be able to get some backstabs onto Savage, or SvG, sorry, as one of the Killer's team players actually goes out in the zone, so that's not very fortunate for them. It looks like SvG are just paying attention to Killer's team coming in from the behind. Circle shifts, 6-9 are well out of it, but Nova has finished off the last member of Brazilian Killers. He's managed to snake his way up to 9th place, so it's not the worst result, but obviously would prefer to be in the end circles.
I mean, what are you going to do when you run into 6-9 that early? They've taken out both Brazilian Killers and Bastardos, who are 2 of our heavy hitters, in the first, 15 minutes probably they won both those fights, maybe a little longer. So they've done very well for themselves. Nova now getting involved onto SvG as well. Still, this fight continuing. All of 6-9 are in no hurry to rotate here. They're still well outside the circle, and they're just going to let everyone clean each other up by the looks of things. As you say, SvG are now gone.
Certainly are.
Killer's team just lost another one there, so only 2 left for them now. 6-9, they're coming in for a compound crash, boys. I don't love it, but here they go. They're going to get involved in what's already a 3-team fight and is now 4.
Yeah, Nova have got nice positions here to just be picking off these squads as they come in. One of the 6-9 players, that's the second 6-9 player knocked, in fact. So 6-9 are starting to bleed out. They are starting to bleed and hurt. 2 players of theirs have already been knocked already. Team Queso getting involved on it. That's 3 players from 6-9 that have been knocked. One has been finished.
Yeah, that was a confirm. So they've still got 2 players in the action here, but they're stuck in smokes. And I think this crash may have been just a little bit too keen, boys, as they do only have the 1 player remaining now. 6-9, it does not look like they'll be following up their chicken dinners with a 4th. As they just got a little bit too keen to get into things by the looks. They still can have 2 alive, but when EVO and Queso both have 4 players up, it's not looking too great for them. They need a pretty big clutch to turn things around from here, but there's not knocked out just yet.
No, not just yet. Nova do start to put more pain on. They found that outside wall of the compound, so it's not all awful for them. If some of these teams start fighting each other, Chicken Dinner Dream might be alive just as Rush to Die are pushing in from the field and getting lit up by the side of Ace inside that Wizard Tower. Killer's team still have players available, but you'd wonder for how much longer. It is Team Queso that you would favour. EVO have a nice little split, but this could favour Queso over EVO just on form alone.
That said, it's pretty good for the rest of the lobby.
On top of the house.
It is. It's pretty good for the rest of the lobby that the 2 teams with 4 players are both in the same compound and are therefore being forced to fight each other, right? Yeah. That's a pretty good way of having a chance to get back into things here.
Rush to Die go down.
Rush to Die are gone now, so top 6 guaranteed for everyone remaining in the lobby. And Evo and Queso, if they end up taking some good damage onto each or putting some good damage onto each other, then all of a sudden this game's blown wide open. Forza here is very aware of those 6-9 players and where they were hiding. He's going to have a bit of an Overwatch position onto them. Spots them running out, but won't be able to get any substantial damage on.
Speaking for information, the circle has shifted onto this compound once more, so it really doesn't favour the Killers team. With only 1 player remaining, 1 player knocked, you'd think they're all but done for the day.
I mean, I just want to see how long it takes this Evo and Queso fight to break out. Or
that is them done for the day.
Or if the rest of the teams are pretty much just going to let them
Ace needs to move once more as well, so they are probably the next squad that is under the most pressure, as eventually they have to find their way out. They might have enough smokes for a smoke wall, but late in the game, they have been stuck in this position for a while. You see one of the smokes coming out as Team Queso's player Mystic is taking some heat on the bottom floor.
I mean, they've only got 5 seconds before the zone starts to move, so if they are going to do a smoke wall, they need to keep throwing them now. There's a couple blooming, but they're going to want to be pretty quick here. EVO and TQ still yet to force the issue. So they are in separate houses now. Team Queso all on the one house here with one EVO player and the rest of EVO spread out. So
6-9 aren't in the worst position yet.
This is actually still doable for 6-9.
It's very doable.
If they do it, I'm going to... I don't know what I'm going to do.
Bit crazy, but...
I'm going to be flabbergasted, I'll put it that way.
It is Ace now moving, and...
Yeah, no, there was
no way really for him to get out. As he tries to get in the Darcy or get in the car to get the movement, but it will be the end for him as he bleeds out to the play zone eventually. Mufasa has a nice angle on the outside of the compound actually, so
now if
not bad.
EVO and Queso get forced into fighting each other, this game's like anyone's to take. It's unfortunately for the two teams with 2 players remaining, it doesn't look like they're going to engage each other just yet, at least not until they've cleaned up the stragglers on the outside. But 6-9, they're inside the circle and they've got a decent bit of cover, so they're not going to be in a massive amount of rush to move.
The problem is they need to move when the gunfire goes out, and they need to move to the house with the 2 EVO players on it, and they just need to hope for a gunfight to break out. If no gunfights break out and we continue this stalemate, then it doesn't favour 6-9 as much.
Unless they have the smokes to put a wall up, and even then they can still get sprayed down because everyone will know what they're doing. If
they've been rotating smokes as much as possible on that position already, so I don't think they will have smokes. Maybe they've picked some up from their buddies who did perish there, but...
Maybe. I mean, look, they're still in with a shot. The zone is starting to close in on these houses, and oh no, that's worst case scenario for 6-9. It's on the opposite side from them.
They're cooked. It's Nova that get the circle. 8 kills to their name already, so it could be a good way to end the day for them.
Still though, the teams with 4 players, even though they do have a disadvantage when it comes to circle, they've got the advantage of manpower, so maybe this comes down to favouring one of them,
So,
but...
6-9 have definitely cracked 100, by the way.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're guaranteed, what, minimum 8 points here, which is exactly what they needed, and they've got like a bunch of kills, so they'll be pretty happy with how everything's going for themselves so far. Here's all the smokes coming out, though. This is all of our teams trying to get their rotations on, and EVO actually going to lose the first one to Nova. Again, these are our teams with 4 players up. This is where things could potentially get a little bit risky for them.
Creeping in. You can hear them or see them on the bottom left of your screen.
Ali here has too many angles to look at. He's too preoccupied shooting at Team Queso to worry about having a look at 6-9.
This is what 6-9 needed.
Yeah, they need these players to be
distracted.
Look,
to push out.
every time he goes to look at them, he starts taking fire or has to give bullets out. And Team Queso all of a sudden are losing this fight. This is what these two teams of Nova and 6-9 need. They are actually going to lose a player there. They do get knocked, but the trade comes out somehow. Myth is still in it here. I'm not sure he'll be able to get his teammate up, but they're actually confirming there onto TQ. That might be them done. 6-9 is somehow still in it. It's them
too. It's them versus Nova. It's them versus
Nova. And they're looking for this res as well. They are getting pushed though. Myth's going to spot the one. He has so little health here to work with. Mufasa's got a very good angle on him here. This is going to be very tough indeed.
If they pick him 1v1, he could do this though.
They could, and it looks like they might here. They are splitting the different sides. Vitu is going to push some in as well, but the circle is not with him. He might just have to try and heal this one. He's actually made his way upstairs. He could just find an angle on one of these guys, puts a few shots in. It's a very difficult situation for him, but amazing that 6-9 are even still in to this point. Surely there is no grenades left for Nova. Everyone's thrown so many.
He has to vault out the window eventually, and that's going to signal his end, you'd imagine.
He's got no heals, so he can't try and out-heal this zone. All he can do is get as central as possible, which the corner of this house is...
Not.
Okay. I thought it was a corner of the map. It's actually not that central. So, yeah, Nova are just waiting for him to make a move at this point. There's so little he can do. Unfortunately for Myth, you want to believe in the fact that this is possible, but he's actually going to go out into the zone and there's nothing that can be done. It's Nova who'll take it out. Almost the 4 chicken dinners back-to-back for 6-9, but instead it's Nova who steal it away from them just down to the zone. I was believing there, man. I thought it was going to happen. Still, though, 6-9, they will definitely crack the 100 mark with another 11 kills. That said, though, it's also 11 kills for Nova, who've done very well for themselves, too. And it's our 2 4-man teams who go out early. They, as I thought might happen, they got trapped into fighting each other.
Yeah, it is. Ace actually in 5th place, sorry. They get 12 kills, so they've managed to claim themselves a lot of points. But
goodness me.
100 points on the day for 6-9, or over 100 points now for 6-9. That's pretty much the story of the day, is they've managed to write themselves into the history books.
Just for reference, when we get there, they started out on 119. So we'll have to see exactly how far they push themselves. I'm thinking they should be about high 220s.
High 220s.
Maybe cracking 230.
This was a fight to remember, as Bastardos had the advantage. They had 2 knocks onto the side of 6-9, but it was 6-9 prevailing with just some excellent gunplay. Myth unfortunately couldn't clutch it out for the 4th chicken dinner in a row, but you'd have to say
Get the clutch
That
happening.
is the word you need a Pedro. Oh, where is he? The ghost of Pedro didn't manage to bless him enough. Imagine that though. First, second.
Yeah, I mean, we thought we were doing really well in one of our first broadcasts. I think it might have been Wildcard region, where we had a team come top 3 every single game.
Also,
6-9 have blown that out of the water.
Also, to go with that, 11 kills, 10 kills, 11 kills.
Yeah, they get 11
So,
even
double
on the game
digits
that they
every
don't
game.
win. So, yeah, huge amounts of points for them gathered. We'll have to see exactly what the total was for the day. It should have been, they would have got 14 points for second place, 24 points. They needed 8, so yeah, they're going to be... I can't even do maths. Whatever.
at
It's
that,
Nova who
25.
do grab themselves the 31-point chicken dinner. 6-9 right behind, 25 points for them. Other than that, Killer's team get themselves 8 points, so finally some okay points for them. It's better than the games they've had so far.
Needed more than that.
Ace 1 will be happy with their 19. Team Queso up there as well. I mean, it's been overall
good, though. That's good for
a
Evo.
pretty good day for everyone in Group E.
Yeah, Evo and Ace were important there as they were sitting on that area that could be close to elimination if they didn't have a decent enough day, and the fact that they've got themselves multiple games where they've got multiple double-digit points, that's very handy for them. So that's great for them. Not Infinex. Influence Rage were the ones that had the really close, really bad day out of the top teams. They didn't really trouble the scorers at all. I don't even think they got into a double-digit game.
Their last 2 days have not been good, but again, they've had precisely no pressure on, so...
Guardians Imperium, team solid. WarMasters, though, they needed points and they didn't get them in this game. So tomorrow, it's do or die essentially. Well, because they will all be playing tomorrow. Yeah,
there's a lot to play for in tomorrow's games. Our Group E teams are done, so it's just Group G who have the pressure on. 236 the final score, so
120 on the day.
What do they start on? 115?
115, 116, so 120 on the day.
Yeah, 116, so 120 dead. That's huge for them. On 119, I lied, so 117. But still, that is a gigantic day. I mean, let's actually see. 117. Let's see where the teams are who have 117 points total, and we'll see, had 6-9 started from nothing today, just how far they would have pushed themselves. 236 points, well clear of Influence Rage, who are done with their games, so 6-9 are guaranteed at bare minimum first place. They could even potentially, if they have another big day tomorrow, I mean, there's no way they're breaking 300 points, surely.
No, they could. They 100% could. That's actually, it's only 64 points.
Yeah, and it's like
it's the weaker lobby.
The weaker lobby tomorrow, yeah, of FSG. So that's terrifying. Okay, 117. That's one of the things we want to look for. The other thing we want to look for is just how our teams with 16 games have placed. So we've got 4 of them in the top 8. So that's 4 who are probably feeling pretty safe. Influence Rage, Team Queso, and Brazilian Killers are 100% safe, even if they all get overtaken by the teams below them. They're not going to fall far enough. What do we got on this page? So everyone
116 rush to die.
Wow. Okay, so they would have come in 11th if they'd started at the start. If they'd started from 0. Goodness me. So 14th is Killer's team. They are the closest to elimination, and they're 3 points ahead of the teams behind them. That
Evo,
is looking scary.
You would expect Evo and Solo Safe minimum to pass them.
Oh yeah, they only need 3 points on Evo. Like mathematically, they're guaranteed to.
Yeah, mathematically guaranteed to. So then Killer's team will move down to 15th place, and then 13 points in a day for Team Solo Safe to put them down to 16th place.
And
so
then any team in the bottom 8 needs to get some points.
I'd say they're dead in the water.
Yeah, I think so. For Real, they're still in with a chance. They do have a little bit more of a buffer to work with. Who else has 16? SvG and Ace 1. I mean, Ace 1, they haven't actually moved from 11th place where they started, but they have got themselves a bunch of points today. It's pretty much just been the top of the leaderboard, getting pretty even amounts of points with the obvious exception of SvG.
Yeah, Batman and Loops.
No one's actually done just yet. That said, it's only 3 points between 17th and 16th, so for Killer's team, it's looking pretty scary.
No, I reckon they're done. I reckon Batman will climb up that pretty easily. But you look at these teams, Disturbed, Guardians, Imperium, Team Solid, PDZ. Well, PDZ are done. There's no way they're getting their points. Just on form alone, I mean, yeah, sure, they could have a crazy day and win it, but...
I mean, they legitimately need a 100-point day.
Yeah, they're not going to get it. No. But WarMasters, Crazy, Disturbed, Guardians, Imperium, Team Solid, those are the ones for me that more than likely out at this point, unless they have a really good day.
Loops and Batman are both in the same amount of points, and they're both within 3 points of the teams above them, so they should be in a pretty good spot moving forward. We'll have to break all that down. Myth moves his way up to 27 kills.
Still got a day to play.
Yeah, still got a day to play. I mean, so too to XG. That'll be their thing tomorrow. We're going to have both XG and 6-9 in the same lobby, so that's probably the biggest competition for 6-9 at this point will be XG, given that all of our other most dominant teams are now done with their games for the semifinals.
Yeah, it certainly will be. What a day we had, though. 3 wins And a second place.
117 points. I can't
Insane
believe that if
day.
they'd started from nothing today, they'd be safe.
They'd be safe, yeah.
They would have made it all the way to 11th if they'd started from nowhere, which is
They could have played one day and qualified for the top
ridiculous.
16.
Yeah, I can't even put into words how grossly out of proportion that is with the points that everyone else is getting. But either way, they've still got another day of games tomorrow. So we have one more day of semi-finals here to decide who's in and who's out. As of yet, no one is confirmed out. I mean, PDZ, but technically, no one is actually eliminated, right? Which is always fun. It means that tomorrow everything is to play for, but that's us done. One more day of semi-finals, same time tomorrow. 4 more maps to decide who goes through to the regional finals and who goes out. We'll see you then.